Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Lawsplaining the Interwebs. I am your humble host, Nick Rekieta of Rekieta Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. And with me today is Uncle Ethan Van Sciver. How you doing, buddy?
Good. It's a pleasure to be here. It's so great to be back on this show. It has blown up. This is the Oprah Winfrey show of of YouTube at this point. Everybody wants to be on this show, so it's nice. Thank you for inviting me. Appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure, man. It's been too long. The last time we were just talking before the show a little bit, and the last time you were on, it was you and John Delarose, and we were just having a discussion, I think, about the creative process and independent publishing and all of that stuff. But now we've got other things to talk about along with that. I want to get back to that. I really do. I know there of course is some drama going on in the Comicsgate community, and I've gotten kind of an outside perspective on it. So I was hoping you could kind of fill me in on what's been going on with at least from your perspective, and then I guess we could just talk about that a little bit, and then we can move on into talking about eating pie and
That's the boring stuff. I think people do want to talk about the drama. Everyone says, "I don't want to hear about drama. I don't want to talk about drama," but all they talk about is drama.
That's true. That's true. But I'm game to talk. Whatever you're game to talk. What I don't want to do is put you on the spot in any sort of way, because I have. Well, I think you were in the stream the other night when I was basically saying, you know what, I'm advising generally people to kind of stay away from the drama as things sort out, and my advice revolves around a couple things. One, I think it's hard to have the facts in situations like this that involve numerous people, and especially when the personalities get bigger and livelier, the facts get muddy. And so I want to caution people against throwing either party in whatever it is under a bus when it's the internet, man. You know what I mean? It's just a mess. Yeah. So
everybody's looking for attention. I mean, everybody wants to shine. Everybody wants their moment where people are looking at them. So yeah, personalities do kind of emerge forth from this kind of a thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. Comicsgate to me, very simply defined, is just a new attitude and how to do business in comics. It's just good customer service. That's all it's meant to be. It's don't call people Nazis. Don't put bullshit in your comics that people are going to be turned off by, or at least a certain portion of your audience are going to be turned off by.
Like a large portion.
A large portion. I mean, because as it turns out, it's like.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
As it turns out, pretty much all the guys who are not soy guzzlers turned off by what is going on in comics, and so that's a concern. I mean, at the end of the day, Comicsgate is really just, from my perspective, Comicsgate is just us saying we think the audience is still there, and so what we're going to do is we're just going to not do that shit. And we're going to do this stuff. We're going to do books about frogs. We're going to do books like Graveyard Shift, throw a little Vampirella in there, stuff like that. And we're going to, not call you Nazis. We're going to not call you names. We're just going to keep all that stuff out of it. And therefore, when you are Comicsgate, you can feel however you want to feel about anything. I mean, everybody's invited to be a part of it. You can be... you can be gay, straight. You can be a marginalized person. You can be marginalized in any way, or you could just be me. Human sunbeam, and the problem, toxically masculine. You can be me, and you can be in comics, and you're gonna do just fine.
Can you be a lawyer though? Because I hear those guys are assholes.
Why? Why would you want to? You're a lawyer. Why would you want to do comic books? But if you want to, I'd love to talk to you about that. So that's basically what it is. Now, because of this, because we have kind of a wide, diverse kind of view of what Comicsgate is. We have a lot of different people in it. These guys all have their attitudes, their views about Comicsgate. People kind of butt heads a little bit. My channel is currently the biggest channel in Comicsgate. So unless you count yourself as Comicsgate, and I don't think you do, my channel usually reaches the most people. So there's a perception that I am the leader of Comicsgate, or that I think that I'm the leader of Comicsgate. And I have to say over and over again that no, I am not the leader of Comicsgate. Every individual has to understand that they are the leader of Comicsgate themselves if they choose to be a part of this movement and take control of it. What I think that the drama right now, and by the way, people tell me drama is going on, and I'm never quite sure what's going on because I really don't follow it myself.
And that's where I am too, because I hear drama's going on, and then I hear like 10 different stories of what the drama is. I'm like, okay, well, it can't be all of these things. And usually what I'm hearing, like, most of these things sound like there's something critically missing, because the people I know involved aren't ridiculous. They might be fun, or they might have big personalities, but that doesn't make people ridiculous, right? In their actions. And so when I see some of this stuff, I'm like, what the hell happened? What really happened? So that's one of my goals tonight, is to try and figure it out. And for the record, no, I do not consider myself a Comicsgate channel, mainly because right now, if I did, that would be a little disingenuous. We focusing heavily on the Vic Mignogna case, and that's kind of the primary that's a primary drive of the channel right now. As you know, if his case would ever slow down and act like a normal lawsuit, things might be different. But so I'm way on the outside of this stuff. But
we consider you friendly. I mean, you've had commentators on and all that stuff. I think the higher aspirations of Comicsgate, you probably understand and align with. What I think happened is what happens: gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is at the center of all of this. The idea that gatekeeping and purity tests, exactly what I think people talk about happened to Gamergate. Somebody got the idea that what Comicsgate needed to do, or what they would do to participate. Everybody wants to participate. Everybody wants to do something. And not everybody can do a comic book, but people feel passionately about Comicsgate and want to do something. Somebody got the idea, somebody pretty high up in Comicsgate got the idea that what they want to do is create a website. And this website would basically monitor, and give you all of the information, the stats, everything that you need to know about the creators involved, how much money the book has made, all of the Comicsgate books that are currently crowdfunding or have just finished crowdfunding. You could go to one place, one-stop shopping, and then just get a look at everything that was Comicsgate that was on this list.
Right.
Now, when I heard this idea, I said, that's a terrible idea. That's an awful idea. Don't do that. And the reason why I said it was an awful idea is just because crowdfunding campaigns there shouldn't be a shopping mall. People don't nobody has it in their head that they're going to go on a shopping trip and just, hey, I've got a bunch of money I want to blow on, supporting a lot of campaigns by independent comic book creators that I don't know of, that I don't know personally, that I'm not really invested in. Just give me a list of all the ones that I'm going to support. Now, there are a few people that are probably predisposed to be that way, but most people are not. You don't just go through a list of campaigns of people that you don't know, you're not associated with, you haven't been pitched to, and go, this book is $25. I'm going to back this book. I'm going to back this one, this one, and this one, and this one. That's just kind of not the way it works, and it's not the way it's most effective. Ultimately, what people need to do if they want to have a successful crowdfund is you need to make a marketing strategy. You need to be out there, pounding the pavement. Now, the reason why it's work, you have to let people know. It's like running for office. You have to let people know every single day about your campaign and find new ways to do it. When I have a new campaign up, I want to be on Nick Rekieta's show to talk about it, to reach your audience. I want to bounce around. I want to be on my show every single day. I want to be on everybody's show and just let as many people as possible know in new and creative ways. It is not easy. It's not work. And there's no substitute for that, including a website. This website ended up, nevertheless, happening. And then they ran into a problem that I didn't even think about And that problem is determining who actually is Comicsgate and who isn't Comicsgate. Now,
the impossible question.
You've got a list of this is catastrophic. This is so stupid. It's so bad because there are people who feel like they are Comicsgate and other people feel like they're not for various reasons. There are people who you might think are Comicsgate, but they're personally like, I'm not Comicsgate. And we have people like that. Peter Samiti over there at Alterna Comics is most certainly Comicsgate in word and deed, except he doesn't want the label. You know, it's like he doesn't want to have to deal with the problems of announcing that he's Comicsgate. So I guess he's not on the list. You don't put him on the list. People who support Comicsgate, he supports those ideas for the most part, but you're not gonna, you're not gonna let people know that they should be supporting his comics. This is just an endless list of problems. And then there are people who are like, well, I am Comicsgate, and somebody else says, no, you're not, and you're kept off the list. It is incredibly stupid, and ultimately for what? For what purpose?
That's like John De La Rose, right? That's been one of the problems that he's had. Is he believes that he embodies Comicsgate in many ways. Some people disagree with him, but that's not really what.
Who's going to determine?
Right.
I mean, ultimately, if you're going to do a website like that, it should kind of be like whoever says they're Comicsgate is Comicsgate. But then again, some bad actors might get involved, people who actually want to sabotage it. It's just, you shouldn't do it. The bottom line is this shouldn't be a thing that happens for so many different reasons. Now, what ended up happening in this case was evidently one fellow named Brad Ashworth, who had a book called Handyman, which I was right on the verge of promoting. I was kind of not really doing live stream promotional videos at the time, but I would have, because his book looked really great. Turns out he had an editor who some people within Comicsgate considered to be problematic because this guy, pointed a gun at somebody on a live stream, et cetera, et cetera. So,
wait, were they there? Were they like, because like if I'm like, look out, Ethan, I'm coming for you.
I've had to put this together. I've pieced this together. Like here's the thing, like drama like this takes place over the course of like many months. And so you just hear somebody pointed a gun at someone on a live stream and you go, oh, what the fuck? Right. What I mean? Like, and then you don't realize how it's connected to the larger story until, you do, and you have a bird's eye view of what happened. But in any case, because this guy was connected to that guy, there were certain elements within this new crowdfunding website that wanted to not include him in the website.
Sure. This
infuriated Doug TenNapel. Okay, Doug TenNapel went on a tirade and said, Comicsgate is he said it's gatekeeping garbage. And I will burn this website to the ground, he said famously. I will burn it to the ground. Now, because of that, the website switched management. Everyone involved with it basically panicked and said, we're no longer just a Comicsgate website. We're just all independent comics now. We're just all, because we don't want to gatekeep anyone.
Sure.
So now, basically, you've created an utterly worthless website that is of no benefit to anyone. You're just going to show people what independent comics are what crowdfunded comics exist right now. You can just go to Kickstarter for that. You can just go to Indiegogo and just hit "Show me the comics" and get a list. You don't need to put them on one big website. It just becomes now, what's it for? Who is it for exactly? It's redundant or it's gatekeeping, one of the two. Those are the two choices, which is why this should never have happened in the first place.
Yeah, I think the trick, if you're going to run a website like that, you can't say, well, this is going to be a list of Comicsgate books. You have to say, this is a list that we are curating as campaigns we're interested in and think you might find interesting, and leave it at that. You can't slap the labels on. Because then, people can get to know. I mean, that's how review sites work. That's how everything works. You get to know the reviewer, you get to know their perspective, and then you either value or disvalue their opinion, right? Like that's
right. Yeah. You have to decide. Look, I trust this website to tell me what's good, which is exactly kind of what my live streams do. It's just you go to my live streams and I just kind of go, I like this campaign. This isn't the totality of Comicsgate, certainly not. But it's like if you see something on my live stream, I'm promoting somebody, it's because I think they're pretty good. And that's all it can ever really be. I mean, you can't kick somebody out. I would never kick someone out for like and not allow them to be on my live stream because they weren't completely Comicsgate to my satisfaction. It would just be because either I'm bored and I'm not doing live streams at the moment, or I don't think your book's very good. One of the two.
One second, E. Yes, lady. Go to bed. Ask her to please stop. Thank you. Close my doors. Oh my goodness, these kids, man, trying to kill me. So this is weird. Okay, so help me out here, because I'm hearing about this actually in like reverse order in real time from what you're telling me. So there's this website. I know. Are we not saying the website's name, or?
It's Indiecron.
Yeah, it's Indiecron.
Okay.
Is the website, and Indiecron's been around for a while. And the first time I heard of Indiecron, again, because I don't really closely follow the comic stuff outside of people that I know specifically, is I heard that Indiecron had issues with John De La Rose, and he created like another Indiecron.
Yeah. With like a slightly different spelling,
right?
And like actually, I remember this. I completely forgot about that. They asked me to go to him and say, "Please don't do that." And so I had to go to De La Rose and be like, "John, just in the spirit of brotherhood, could you not fuck over this new website? Like, you know what I mean? Like, be a nice guy. Don't fuck him over." And he was like, "All right, I won't." So he didn't. But at the same time, I don't know why so many people think this website idea is a good one, because there's another one coming out. War Campaign have decided to answer, these guys called War Campaign, decided to answer the Indiecron dilemma by just being like, fuck it, we are gatekeeping. We're Comicsgate only.
Sure.
And so this is going to be, our determination. We're going to determine who's Comicsgate and who isn't, and we're going to put them on our website.
I'm almost with that, except for the Comicsgate label. I mean, I feel like they should say these are just books endorsed by War Campaign if they're going to do that, because then people get to say, okay, I know this person from War Campaign. I like their perspective and their snark or whatever, and I'm going to go with it. Again, like I don't have any problem with that sort of thing, but when it does become gatekeeping of a particular label or a brand, you always have to. Sometimes you may determine that gatekeeping is necessary in some capacity, like for example, if Tariq Nasheed wanted to write a comic book, right? You might want to say, well, I don't know if you quite embody the Comicsgate principles, or if Mark Waid did, it'd be very strange, right? There'd have to be some sort of question.
There needs to be gatekeeping of SJWs, but it kind of needs to be done by the fandom itself, I think, the customer base.
That's the amazing thing about independent comics, right? Is that the customer has the direct opportunity to say, no, peace. I'm not going to buy it. It's why, okay, so Indiecron is created. There's some drama around it, but then I stop hearing about it. Then I didn't hear the Indiecron connection or with Doug. All I heard was that there was some sort of rift between you and Doug. There was some exchange of words, and then there was blocking that happened. And and I think Doug blocked you first. Yeah. I don't know if you blocked him back, or I don't know if you even can once you're blocked. I don't know how that.
No, you can, so that they can't spy on you. It's Twitter. It's who knows what kind of gay ops can get pulled.
All of them. If it's Twitter, they're extremely gay because that's the design. But
you gotta block them back. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't
think I did though.
And I've heard a little bit of the story from Doug, and I'm going to Doug's house on my way to Bubba Fest next week. So I'm gonna pop in on his show and try and talk to him about this on there. But I've got this thing. It's like Ethan and Doug are fighting, and then I see suddenly a bunch of people in my chat are like, "Screw Doug." That's the nice way of saying what they say. And then I see a bunch of people like, Ethan is soy, and I'm like, what the hell is happening here? This is so weird to me.
Yeah, it is weird.
So I'm trying to figure out what's going on, and you know, like, I hate to see my friends fighting, mainly because I watched the internet bloodsport community burn to the ground, and some really fun channels of people that I personally liked quite a bit get kind of just trounced, and I don't want to see that happen to anybody, because you know, when a good show or a good guy gets tossed out because of drama and people get tired of watching it, that takes something away from the audience. You know, they don't get that thing that they liked, or they get a sour taste about it. So you know, part of my curiosity is like, what happened, so I can, you know, if there's anything I can do to help, man. That's part of what I'd like to see. So I don't know if Doug or you would be up for it, but at some point I'd love to get you guys on to talk about it and see if there is some sort of resolution, because, you know, that's one thing I've tried to do in the past, although sometimes it turns into a dumpster fire, like with Jason Youngbluth. That guy was great.
Dude, I forgot. I went on Killstream on Thursday.
Yeah.
And one dude called up and he was like, "You're going to the gas chamber, Ethan." And I was like, what the hell? And then I realized, you know who it was? It was that Thomas Royal Up guy, the very first debate
Yes.
we did on our channel, that weirdo who like wanted to debate me and had nothing to say except, I don't know, I think that maybe the future could also be like digital comics. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a weird debate, because that guy and I don't have any problem with Thomas. I disagree with him on a lot of stuff, but you know, he talked a very big game about what was going to happen in that debate, and then he brought like a basket full of leaves or something instead of, I don't know what else you bring.
I was ready to go. Yeah, I was ready to debate, and nothing really came of that. But he's still obsessing, and I think that's a lot of the. I think that's a lot of the problem. What happened with Doug? You know, I gotta say, I'm not entirely sure. Every time I think I settled this, there's something else that pops up around the corner that just makes it worse. Now, let's see, how did it start? I mean, initially it started because Mike S. Miller, I guess the conflict started because Mike S. Miller posted something on Pride Month. He said, "Pride is a sin, hashtag Pride Month." And I was like, "Oh, Mike, these guys. We've got some evangelical Christians, and I love them, but they want to go to war with the LGBTQ community, and we can't. We'll lose that war. You know, I don't want to fight with the entire gay community. I want to fight with SJWs. That's something that we can win. But I mean, if you want to fight the Rainbow Coalition, I can't do it. You know, it's like those people destroy and burn down homes and destroy lives. I'm not going to do that. So I'm like, keep all that stuff to yourself, please. That's not what Comicsgate is. I mean, we have gay fans, and if we want to turn off our gay fans, that's a quick way to do it. So not the most popular thing I've ever done. I said Comicsgate doesn't feel the way. It doesn't feel like this. And then I got Mike, personally, and yelled at him. I said, "Stop it! Stop trolling! Do not troll the gays. Do not troll the gays, Mike. You know, you don't want to do that right now. We want to keep Comicsgate like in order. We want to keep Comicsgate non-controversial as possible, so that we can all keep making money. This is all about you doing Lone Star #3 and making another $200,000. It's not about, you know, fighting people who we shouldn't be fighting with. Really, it's comics." So he kind of agreed. I publicly apologized to him for embarrassing him, which I think was the right thing to do. I don't apologize to too many people, but I apologized to Mike for that. In the meantime, I guess what happened was Doug took Mike aside. Mike apologized too. And Doug took Mike aside and screamed at him and said, "We've been silenced for years. You know, Christians are silenced in this business, and I don't want us to be silenced anymore." And you know, Comicsgate, and he posted this. Comicsgate is a rainbow coalition of SJWs. Now, and I am no longer using the hashtag. Now,
are you kidding me? You need to go to bed, lady. What is this? This is. I'm having a chat here. What?
My sister hot stop sitting my bed.
Oh my gosh. Ethan, can you excuse me for carry the show for 3 minutes? I'll be right back.
Probably do it. I'll read some of the lives. I'll read some of the comments out and answer people.
I'll be back in just a second.
Brett says, so Doug was exiled because of his Christianity? Absolutely not. Doug chose to leave Comicsgate, chose to leave on his own. And I think, his Christianity is certainly welcome. I'm Christian. All Christians are welcome in Comicsgate. The problem is, just stirring up controversy where we don't want it to be. But yeah, I mean, some people like it. Some people don't. Can you hear me? Am I still on? Dead air. Snoop Dogg says Ethan's morals begin and end with his bank account. Well, when it comes to business, and no, my morals are all within Comicsgate. I mean, honestly. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're back.
Oh my goodness. 9 o'clock, go to bed. 11:30. Hey, Dad, my sister's sitting on my bed. Oh my God. Okay.
That would be spooky if you said your sister's been dead for 8 years, honey.
Yeah, that would be awful.
That's a horror story right there.
Yeah. I got those. You know what art? This is way off topic, but that's how my brain works. You know what art I genuinely love? Do you remember these books? Scary stories to tell in the dark.
I love those books. Yeah, the art is fantastic.
It's horrifying. It's disproportionately scarier than the stupid stories.
Yeah. I reached out to that artist one time and wanted to see what he was up to. I mean, he takes commissions and stuff.
Oh,
but that artwork completely influenced me when I checked those books out in the library, like in the 8th grade. Incredible.
Yeah. They re-released them. You can buy all of them at Target now.
Mm-hmm.
Just over in the young readers section. I bought them, and my kids have me read them sometimes at night, and I'm like, this is a bad plan.
Yeah. Those pictures are nightmare inducing. If your kids aren't horror. I wish mine were. They're not, but
my oldest daughter is, she thinks, but she's like, no, I love scary stuff. And then of course, every time I get done with my show after reading that book, I go up to my room to go to bed and she's in it. And it's like, okay. I got it. And did they just come out with the movie? It's out now, right?
Yeah, I hear it's like social justice. It's bullshit. It's not good. That's what I heard. I haven't, It's a shame. They should just animate those drawings is what they should do.
Yeah, they should just do that and have them read the stories with unsettling jitters and stuff. Okay, so back to where we were. So Doug says, Christians are oppressed in the comics industry and have been forever, and that's kind of one of Doug's big talking points, and that's Doug. So then he says he's out.
Well, he said he was out before that. I mean, the whole thing was Doug finished funding Bigfoot Bill,
right?
And on the day he finished funding Bigfoot Bill, he said, "I won't be using the Comicsgate hashtag anymore, Ethan. Just letting you know." And I was like, that's weird. Why not? And he said, well, I'm moving on to this Earthworm Jim thing. He traded his video game rights, his royalties on the video games for the rights to do the graphic novel. And he was just like, I'm just going to be doing this. I'm okay. I'm going to be doing this Earthworm Jim book. I'm not going to be using Comicsgate.
Sure.
And I said, well, okay. Well, that's a shame because we really like to have you on the live streams and stuff. He's like, I'll still pop in now and then on the live streams, but I'm just saying I'm not going to be using the hashtag. And I said, okay. I said, well, the one thing, could you just do me one favor? I mean, it's like this, this fandom's giving you a lot. Don't run down the Comicsgate hashtag. That's all I'm saying. Don't go out there. Don't run it down. You don't have to talk about it, but don't say bad things about it.
Sure.
And Doug said, I won't. The fandom gave me a lot. I wouldn't do that. And so immediately. It's like 2 days later, he's going, Comicsgate is anti-Christian. Caesar formerly killed Jesus Christ. This is just traditional that Caesar kills Christians and all this stuff. And I started getting all these refund requests from people. Like, I didn't know that you hated Christians. And I'm like, I don't hate Christians. Not at all. It's just, one of the things that Comicsgate does is you're just supposed to keep controversial opinions to yourself. It's bad for business. So, that's what Comicsgate's supposed to be. It's not good customer service to come out there and, attack or condemn, LGBTQ people. And no matter how you feel about it, that makes us kind of no better than the SJWs, who are out there calling Republicans Nazis. Just keep it to yourself and think about selling your comics. So Doug's out there calling people are calling Comicsgate anti-Christian, and it seemed pointed. And then he started sending love notes to some of these people who really, really despise me, and wanting to invite them on his channel. He dedicated Bigfoot Bill to me, and right under my name were the names of two of my biggest enemies in comics. And
who are they? I mean, I have the book, but it's upstairs.
You can look.
Okay, I'll go check him out. Yeah, Doug is watching. By the way, I saw him in the chat. So hey, Doug, I can't wait to come.
Invited in. If he wants to come in, he can come in and correct anything I'm saying.
Well, if you want to do that, Doug, here's what I'll do. Let me hold on. I'm gonna change scenes here just for a second so I can pull up the link without. Sometimes I dox the link, which is not good because someone could send a bunch of mess. Now, I'm not saying that Doug will or has to come on, but I'm going to send him the link in case he wants to. But like I said, I have full intention of talking to who is knocking? Are we kidding here?
There's no sleep in the house tonight.
No, what now? Playing music? Hey, little sister, get in here. It's dad time, I guess. Let's see. Hey, stop playing that. You need to go to sleep on your bed. Okay? Stop playing the trumpet, please. Good night. You too. Good night. Guys, go to bed. This is ridiculous. What kind of show am I running here? I mean it. Close my doors. Go to bed. Stay in it. Oh my goodness. Okay, so God, as I was trying to say, and I apologize for the child interruptions. Where's their mother? Their mother's asleep because they're supposed to be asleep. If Doug is interested in coming on, he's welcome to, but I intend to have Doug on, and I never want to force people into these situations unless it'd be really funny. I don't know that this one would be as funny as Perfection.
Well, it's not. Yeah, we're not trying to be funny. I mean, I think that a lot of this is misunderstanding, perhaps. I mean, I have my point of view of what I experienced personally,
right?
And then Doug's got his point of view, and Doug's got people talking in his ear. Of course, I got people talking in my ear.
Right. That's the problem with the internet.
When we talk together, when Doug and I talked together, and the last time we spoke was right after he got back from San Diego. And I told Doug, I said, look, you did this crowdfunding comics panel, and you thanked everyone on the panel for helping you get where you were. And you never mentioned me. And I feel like I picked you up out of, I guess, the gutter and kind of helped you get on your feet. And you're thanking people on that panel that actively campaigned to not allow you to be on that panel. And you're thanking them for everything they've done for you. And I think that's diplomatic of you. But why wouldn't you say, hey, shout out to Ethan. It was no big deal, but it was glaring. And if you watch it, it seems glaring. And Doug said, you know what? Doug said, when you get up there, like, you forget, your brain goes numb, you forget things. And I kind of went, okay, that makes sense to me. And we had this whole talk in private about everything, about all of our misunderstandings. And I feel like both of us worked out it. I sat there on my iPhone, going back and forth with him and just hammering out. There he is, hammering out details back and forth. And I feel like at the end of that conversation, Doug, we had come to an understanding. At least you said, "I'm not mad at you. We're cool." And then one day later, you blocked me on Twitter.
Oh.
Yeah, well, here, real quick. Welcome to the show, Doug. Thanks for.
It's the best show on YouTube with Ethan, Doug, and Nick Rekieta.
Well, I hope so. Try to put on.
It's already the most important place. This is appointment viewing, everybody.
So welcome to the show. So Ethan and I are kind of talking through his perspective. I saw you in chat, and I never want to pressure someone to be on, but I also don't want to ever leave someone unable to answer something that someone's saying on my show.
I thought some of what Ethan said was BS, but I also don't think it's right for me to come on and ambush someone or something. I think it's better for us to have some fun. So I'll tell the truth, but I'll be. I just don't want to create drama. I want to be cool.
Yeah, I think because here's what I see. In general, is I see, from my perspective, I see a rift growing in a place where I see a ton of potential. Yeah. And that potential is making good things and selling them to people who want to buy them. And I know all three of us believe in that really heavily. Sure. And so, like, when I see kind of the tension going on, and then people, like what Ethan's saying, people asking for refunds, and I know people have done the same thing to Doug. I'm like, wait, now people aren't buying things that they wanted a day before because of something that's unrelated to the product itself, but it's focusing on some issues at the creators. So if I can have any part in mending that fence, man, I definitely want to do it. But I don't.
And I've only heard in public, Ethan and I have both only said, don't refund each other's stuff. I've heard that from Ethan, and I appreciate that. And I've said that of my people. Do not. Refunding is soy. It is wrong to go and attack someone's business over what you believe. And I just think the audience is so overwhelmed with emotion that they can't help it. And so I'll give them refunds or whatever. And in a way, I don't want people getting my book if they don't want it. Like, I really don't want to force it on them, going like, I got your funds. So about half of the backers who've asked for a refund, I've given a refund. About half of them I flat out couldn't, because like if they're giving you like $1,000 for an original page, and I have a deal with BackerKit where they take 15% of the donation for the marketing of referring that person, I'm out $150. So some of them I can do
fees as well. I mean, look, it costs money just to process. First of all, once the campaign's over, Indiegogo takes a cut, and the credit card companies take a cut. So if people are refunding and we're going to refund them their full amount of money, we totally. I mean, it's not fair. We get screwed out of for a $20 book, like $6 disappears. So it's bad news, and it's like I've said over and over again. I took a look at Doug's page, and there are people going, "I want a refund. I want a refund," because of Ethan. And I said, "Don't do that. That is horrible karma."
I appreciate that, and that is what unites us all. Is that I do think, in the end, we want to get our books out. We want to make books. We don't want someone else attacking our business. I think that is. All of that is off topic, but at the same time, we work in a culture where I just don't think people can stomach putting money into someone when they find something out about them and they just go, Doug, I want my money back. I don't, I'll try, but and that guy's not going to come into the next campaign either. He's going to get the book and probably burn it,
Yeah. And that's, Why am I not drunk? That's a good question.
I did have 2 slugs in me, and I was in bed when I was listening to this show. So I was listening to it. I go, honey, he's inviting me on.
Oh no.
He's like, Doug, why are you up looking all concerned? Because she was watching me read the chat.
Yeah. Well, tell her I profusely apologize for.
Yeah. And when you come over and get on my show, Nick, we are not going to talk about this. I'm not going to. I have a vow. I don't want to talk about this as much as possible. I don't want to talk about it on my show.
Sure.
We're going to screw around, and we will get drunk, and we will screw around about anything else. But
sounds good.
We're going to talk about Bubba Fist. You're coming up for Bubba Fist? That seemed like a real weird convention. Bubba Fist.
What is your camera doing? Did you possess it? Like, what is going on there? Does it have the stigmata?
Yeah, look at that. It's telekinesis.
No, so yeah, I'm coming out for Bubba Fest, which looks like a ton of fun. And you want like a full-on social justice attack. Bubba Fest was Facebook stopped accepting advertising dollars from Bubba Fest because they said that it was inherently racist. And Ethan, I don't know if you heard this, but when the guy running it asked Facebook for an explanation, they said, "Well, you have Chuck Norris and Lee Majors coming." And he said, "Yeah." And they said, "They're both white conservative men." That was their actual response. So they said, so Bubba Fest is racist. No, I mean, they have the guy who played Shang Tsung in the Mortal Kombat movie. I can't remember his name, but he's definitely not white. They have a couple other people who are definitely less than Caucasian. And it's like, what
do you mean less than?
I have to say it in the most offensive way.
They will have 1 or 2 minorities at Bubba Fest. They don't know what they're talking about. 1 or 2 out of thousands.
No, it's actually a pretty diverse show, and it's insane. It's insane, right? That's how this all goes. But anyway, so Doug, we're not going to talk about this on your show, but you're here, and clearly, like you want to have some sort of response to Ethan. Yeah. So can you kind of run through your side of the story?
I have a lot of different ways that I remember it than Ethan did, but I'll clarify the major points that I hear. The first is that I blocked Ethan because after we had our conversation, he wrote a tweet that said, "Is Earthworm Jim anti-gay?" And to me, that, as a friend, that just crossed a line forever on trust issues, because that ties Earthworm Jim, who has nothing to do with that issue, zero. It ties it to me and my career, and because it was done publicly after I told him, let's take this private, he did that publicly within 12 hours of the last time I said, let's take this private. I just saw that as... I have a hard time impugning someone's motive. You can't know someone's motive, but it felt like he was cueing followers to either come after me on that point, or perhaps it might get back to Interplay, and maybe they'll pull the license from me according to my deal, which he knows about. That's how it felt to me. So I went, oh, not a friend. So I can't have you having in my personal space on Twitter. So I simply blocked him. It wasn't big public block. And then I saw Ethan take a picture of that blocking, and he went out to his fans again and posted it, and went on a couple of shows like Quartering, going like, I don't understand why Doug would do this. And I was literally like, I have a commitment to not comment on this stuff in public. And I swear every fucking show is about it. I go on John Malin's show, he's talking about it. I go on Cecil's show, he's going off on it. Ethan's show all day, all night. War Campaign all day, all night. I'm trying to be quiet. I've got 100 tweets from every comic.
Doug, you made a commitment to me before you made a commitment to Interplay. And you said to me, Ethan, I'm not going to talk bad about Comicsgate.
I don't remember ever saying that.
Brother, you did.
Okay.
You did.
I could be wrong on that. I don't remember ever.
You don't remember ever saying, I'm going to be respectful of the people of the fans that gave me $200,000 for Big Phil.
I don't remember saying that, Ethan. I remember telling you that I wouldn't go public, that I left Comicsgate when I first left over Brad Ashworth.
I said, do not run down Comicsgate, please. It's an important movement, and a lot of people behind you, a lot of people who have not yet received $200,000 for a comic book are hoping to get there, are hoping to enjoy my platform and enjoy this motivated and happy, excited customer base in order to make a lot of money. So I asked you, please, as one of the biggest voices in Comicsgate, to not do that. Now, you know what my standards are when it comes to Comicsgate and making big controversial statements, especially attacking groups of people who are mobilized and motivated to attack Comicsgate and have hurt you substantially through your career and have hurt me as well. I don't want to pick fights with these people.
Comicsgate, Ethan, has come out and attacked me more in the last 2 years than any other.
Well, they're customers. They're allowed to attack.
Well, they're ex-customers now. I mean,
no, they're not.
The people who are after me are not backing my books. Believe me.
They are.
Frankly, most of the people talking are not even backers.
All right.
I mean, you know this from your numbers. You got 130,000 subscribers.
You called Comicsgate. You called Comicsgate the Rainbow Coalition, SJW Absolutely. Rainbow Coalition.
Absolutely.
Which implies that we are pro-gay. Absolutely. That we are your enemies. Okay. Then you called us controversial. You said I can't be a part of any organization as controversial as Comicsgate, while calling us gay rights activists. It seems to me that you're defeating yourself by making an extremely controversial statement.
Let me clarify
like that, and then saying that let me clarify, because I want to clarify is Earthworm Jim anti-gay tweet.
Okay,
because it's important, because it's taken out of context. When you're calling Comicsgate controversial, I've got to say we're not controversial. There's absolutely nothing fucking controversial about standing up and opposing SJWs in comics. The people who have ruined comics. There's nothing controversial about anything that we do. In fact, we do not court controversy. We don't make statements like it's Pride Month and pride is a sin. That's not what we do. That is controversy. That is not
controversial, and
it's not controversial to Christian groups. It's controversial to a business movement.
It's not controversial to fact, Ethan. I don't care what the group thinks about it, and you launched a campaign.
That's correct. You don't. But see, the thing is, Doug,
you launched that Ethan against your friend.
Doug, it's precisely because he's my friend, Doug.
Tweet,
Doug,
5 days later, you hammered.
No, 5 days later, because SJWs found it and were passing it around.
Ethan, you made it a controversy. Mike did not make it a controversy. It was nothing. It was a fart. It was a joke. Pride is a sin is not a big deal. I don't think. This is my opinion.
If you love Mike, you know that Mike has been thoroughly blacklisted by this industry and cannot find work right now. You understand that
all three of us,
he's hanging on by a thread.
Yeah.
Trying to keep his children and his wife in their homes. And I'm trying to explain to him as a real friend that he needs to keep his mouth shut about things like this if he wants to stay in his home. That's all it is. And you're telling him, no, go blow the doors off and we'll see what that gets him. I care about him more than that. You can do whatever you want, Doug. You're wealthy. You're a wealthy man. You're a millionaire. Say whatever you want to say now. You find yourself in a much better position than Mike.
Let me go back and it is true that I'm in a different position than Mike, but let me clarify some things about, first of all, my statement about distancing myself from CG. It wasn't merely because it was controversial. I never said that I was distancing myself from it simply because it was controversial, because as you've noted, I have very controversial positions. I'm against abortion. I'm against evolution. I'm against climate change, and I'm against gay marriage. There's any number of positions that I hold or beliefs that I have. I believe Jesus is the only way to God. I can give you a whole run of them. However, I'm willing to lose my job over positions I hold I'm not willing
Very
to lose.
fortunate that Comicsgate was there to pick you up.
Yeah,
Well,
let me finish.
on.
That's a different subject. Let me finish. I'm not willing to lose, say, tarnish my brand or lose it over controversy that are not me. And there's tons of those in Comicsgate. So among them, I'm not willing to lose my position for you wearing a rainbow next to your name for 2 months straight or 3 months straight and doing the he, her, them stuff, or front hole, back hole talk or stuff like that on everything War Campaign is doing, and they have a giant CG on their cover that you did the cover for. I'm not willing to have that tarnish my name. I'm willing to go all day about me saying I have my doubts about global climate change being man-made. That might get me fired. I'm willing to stand by my position, so I want you to straighten that out from here out, just to clarify. It's not that I look at me. Do I look like I fear controversy? I mean, half my positions are very controversial.
What did I say in my tweet that was wrong, Doug? The tweet that I said that you quoted. What did
you said is
you're open about it when you want to be.
When you said is Earthworm Jim anti-gay? What in my past anywhere has Earthworm Jim ever crossed the subject of homosexuality or against homosexuality? Name one fact to justify that tweet.
Because you're associated with Earthworm Jim. And you were associated with Comicsgate.
Earthworm Jim is that's guilt by association.
You're willing to be yourself, obviously, with Comicsgate, and you're not willing to be yourself with
that's a nice try, Ethan, but that is a moronic move. That is guilt by association.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Earthworm Jim to anything anti-gay, and SJWs do it all the time, and you're an SJW for doing it. You did it.
Okay, hold on.
You did it.
Just a second, guys. Just a second.
You did it more than the SJWs.
Hey, Doug.
Understanding, Doug.
And you're Comicsgate.
Doug.
I'm not condemning you. I'm standing up for Comicsgate.
Hold on just a second, guys. I'm getting requests to get both of your faces on camera at the same time, and I have to address to the chat. I can't do it. It's not a possibility for me to do because of how YouTube how Hangouts functions. So I can't. I would love to replace my face and let these guys talk, but that's not how it works anymore because of YouTube being great and getting rid of the Hangouts on air and me not adopting some better technology yet because I haven't had time. But I want to make sure that we've got a little bit of a pause to kind of cool down because again, I like you guys both and I think. From what I'm hearing, there's miscommunications and misinterpretations happening, and I want to let some things settle in. So I'm gonna shill for a minute and read a couple super chats. One of them I think is especially prescient here, so I want to make sure and read it. It's from Mythos Irving. It says, "Be better, guys. If you catch the cancer early, it can be fixed. Hope you guys can fix it. Seriously, don't forget your real enemies and don't fall from within." And then Mythos Irving says, WTF, if what you said is true about Doug, wow, as a Christian myself, why fight gay people? Do I hate homosexual acts? Sure, but what others, two consenting adults do in the sanctity of their bedroom is their business. Who the hell cares? It's their right. Now, I don't know if you guys want to respond to either of these, but that's... I'm just reading some of the ones that have come in here. We've got friggin' Harlock says, Ethan, fix this. Anyways, I'm off to France. Mike Walters says, so Nick, it was discovered that the Han Leia's original source was apparently confusing Vic with Ilich Guardiola. What is your take on it? I'm going to give my take on that tomorrow when we're talking more Vic stuff. Tug, hey Tug, what's up? Says Indycron, something that happened 4 months ago, and the people wanting to rehash it want drama or division. Doug got heated, I got heated, loads of people did, and it ended. At the end of the day, it's a listing site. And Torga DW says, have either of you seen the DSA 2019 convention this month or highlights of it? SJW at its finest, it's worth a look. They go so hard to be righteous and still manage to trigger each other for every 5 minutes. Hilarious. Oh, that's the Democratic Socialist Association. Did you see that? Either of you, where they have the big convention of them, and they're like, point of personal privilege, no clapping because I can't focus. Yeah, that was good. Anyway, so sorry.
Hey, I want to say to Doug,
Yeah,
I didn't mean to hurt you. I honestly didn't mean to, and I'm sorry. I apologize to you. My intent with that tweet wasn't to hurt you at all. I felt like I was standing up for Comicsgate. When you called Comicsgate controversial, I took that to heart. And I said, Doug says controversial things all the time and still associates himself with, this brand when he says them. I don't want him to be calling Comicsgate controversial. He should know better than that. And so you hurt my feelings when you said that. And I felt like you hurt the potential of a lot of other people who look up to you to enjoy Comicsgate and succeed because of it. So that's why, what you're saying right now, I hear you loud and clear. I want you to know that wasn't my intention. And I hear you. And sometimes there's collateral damage because you misspeak. I misspeak. I said something wrong that could be interpreted poorly. But I want you to know that it wasn't meant to do that. And I didn't intend to hurt you.
Yeah.
And you should know from all of my actions with regards to you that I didn't want to hurt you.
I don't know your intent, but I appreciate the apology and I believe it. And your intention may be not to hurt me, but it has, I don't know I don't know how much it hurts me. I only know that it has unleashed a backlash of every pro-gay rainbow CGer against me, and they've all followed suit by what they think you want them to do, to a point that yesterday on Wikipedia, they went and bombed the Wikipedia page and they said, Doug TeNapel, number one, is anti-gay, homophobic as a Christian. Number two, transphobic, anti-trans. Number three, that Cyberfrog raised more than Earthworm Jim in a single campaign. When those three facts came out, I went, is Ethan causing this? Is it on his Discord? Is this a war campaign thing? Because that is an obvious Comicsgate message when they did the virtue signaling to EVS and Comicsgate. So I'm only saying Comicsgate is a controversial group, in my opinion. It is the pro-rainbow by how it acts. That is a fact. Not all of them. Obviously, not all of them. I have tons of Comicsgate guys who back me, who support me, and they're just like, look, Doug, I don't get all this stuff, but I back your books. Fine, you're in. You're cool. But that brand sitting over on War Campaign's cover with your cover on it on the front of their campaign, and they're sending pics of dicks in a girl's mouth to Bean from Pa. Fuck War Campaign. If that's CG, fuck CG. Clean up your brand, Ethan. I appreciate your apology. I don't apologize for what I said about CG. They can eat shit because CG name is going out with dicks going to underage girls all over War Campaign. Do 12 videos on them, on that not being War Campaign. Instead of guys, I'm not saying that you did it. Instead of having them going, they're attacking my Wikipedia in the name of the rainbow.
Now, to be fair to Ethan, I did see, I didn't see the extent of it because Twitter moves a million miles a second, but I did see Ethan with giving some backlash to War Campaign. So, did you want to talk about that at all?
No, Doug, are you reaching out to comic book professionals and trying to mobilize them against me in some kind of weird gay ops effort?
You know what, I heard about that, and I believe that was Tug, that I was in a private talk with Tug, and Tug he was the little bird in your ear. Someone said a little bird in your ear. Tug, who I have been talking to on PM, said something about he was out of CG, and I go, I would never go against Ethan unless I had enough subs to speak my mind, because I have 12,000 subs. So as soon as I say anything,
what do you mean go against me? You're going against me now. What are you talking about?
Because Nick has 70,000 subs. So if I can get a big enough platform, I'll talk about it. Ethan, like I said at the beginning of the show, I don't want to turn this into another month of all your guys going after me and my guys going after you. I talked to Tug once saying I wouldn't do it unless there was a panel of ex-CGers and we did something, and then suddenly Malin's doing like Doug's doing the Legion of Doom. And you said a little bird told me Doug was coming on Slummy. It ended with that talk with Tug, and because Doug passes personal information to you that are between us to you, you went and tweeted it to everybody. I don't have a plan. There is no show. Tell me when a show shows up, Ethan, and I'll come and give you a generous back massage.
Well, Tug was one of them. But there are two other people who actually sent me a long conversation that you had with them about this.
I've had long conversations with almost everyone who will hear.
So it wasn't just Tug. So you are actually actively involved in recruiting people to do what? To do what?
Nothing. Show me what? Nothing. There will be no show. I talked to Tug behind the scenes. I talked to other guys. I'm not going to talk about them now. You probably know who they are behind the scenes.
Did Nick tell you not to do that? Did Nick Rekieta tell you not to do that?
No. But I've talked to Nick behind the scenes going, if you want to talk, I go, I don't want to come on a show and talk. I was invited on the quartering to give my side, and I said no, and you went on. Same with Geeks and Gamers. I said, Doug, come on if you want your side. I go, I don't want to come on. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want these creepy weirdos dragging this thing on. I want to move on to my book. And though I left Comicsgate in March, it's like Scientology. They won't let you leave. They'll bitch about how you stabbed them in the back and took advantage of them. And then as soon as you leave, they're like, but I can't believe you left. It's like, if I'm so bad, everyone celebrate that I'm gone and leave it. They can't do it.
Because you're actively recruiting people to come join you to cause trouble. That's what it's
not true, Ethan. There's nothing going to
Ethan, messages from people.
Ethan, I promise you, there's no Legion of Doom. There's no show.
Yes, there is a Legion of Doom.
Okay, well, when it shows up, you can come and you can demand pay you $100 and I'll give you a back massage. I owe you that. It's not going to happen, Ethan. I don't want to bring up the subject of Comicsgate, and I don't want to tear you down. I don't want you getting refunds. This is the most vocal I've been about it, and I'm furious, but I mean, this is stupid. I think it's so stupid even to have to talk about this. It's a non-event. It's nothing.
Well, I agree, but you see, I'm the one talking to you in private and trying to come to terms with misunderstandings, and you are the one wilding, taking things out of context. You're the one talking about how I'm anti-Christian. You started the refunds campaign.
I did not.
You came out of the blue. You did. I got a ton of refunds when you started going Ethan's anti-Christian, saying Caesar is somebody who kills Christians.
But did I tell them? Did I tell them to refund?
In public. You didn't know, Doug. But that's what happens. I've never told anyone to refund you either. But that's what happens when you do stuff like this. And from my perspective, and I listen to your perspective. From my perspective. I've acted consistently throughout. You're someone who I consider to be a friend. You're someone who I trusted. You're someone who I feel like I went out of my way to help and received nothing in return from helping you. And I see you out there just taking the smallest instances to go out of your way to cause trouble, to make Christians mad at me. What were you doing?
I don't have that power. Ethan, I have 12,000 subs. You have 130,000 subs.
Yeah, but Doug, I'm like you. I don't want to talk about this.
But Ethan, you've brought me up 5 times more than I have on my channel. Malin's brought me up 5 times more on his channel.
You bring me up in a subtle way, and then you delete your messages off of Twitter.
I did. Ethan, I delete my messages. That's another thing you brought up, is you tried to stir up this giant controversy. I scrub my tweets on Twitter every 3 months, and you're the one that said publicly, Doug's got something to hide. It's not true. Don't flatter yourself. I delete my tweets regularly.
Why are you telling people that I'm anti-Christian and that Caesar kills Christians and getting people upset?
I made like 3 tweets a month ago. I don't.
They get retweeted wildly. I mean, they get retweeted wildly around. And I hear your complaints, and that one tweet in particular, I'm like, I wish I could rewrite that and say, not is Earthworm Jim anti-gay, but is Doug TenNapel.
That would be better.
Anti-gay.
That would be better. That was when I first said, "Oh my God, he's after Earthworm Jim."
I could give a shit. I want
totally off topic.
I want you
And,
to
and
succeed
Ethan, you could have
gloriously.
personally sent that to me 12 hours after I said, let's take this offline.
You blocked me, Doug.
You know, I
Twitter, and
blocked
we
you.
had a wonderful conversation.
Ethan, that's wrong. That's
and
not.
then you're instantly talking about. Okay.
You're mistaken. I blocked you because of that tweet. I didn't block you before that tweet. You could have made that tweet personally to me, and you didn't. After I asked you to take it private. That's why I blocked you. And then you go on the campaign going, I'm so hurt. I don't know why Doug would block me. What the fuck do you think I'd block you with that tweet? What were you thinking? You know, this is my number one thing, my number one issue. And you go out and you go, is Jim anti? So I get it that you didn't mean it.
Number one issue. I don't understand. Are you?
But it does, Ethan. It does huge harm. And then you
openly talk about this, Doug. You talk about it every opportunity. What do you care if I say it? You talk about it left and right.
Because you're not supposed to be an SJW.
Be a friend to yourself. You're not supposed to be an SJW. Why are you out there talking this stuff, this anti-gay stuff where people have already destroyed, so much about you, and then you get upset when someone else points out that, like, Doug TenNapel, like what? You talk about it yourself openly.
My problem is not
I'm a better friend to you than you're a friend to you.
No, you're being a friend by saying, Doug, shut your mouth and hide your values. That's not a friend. You said the same thing to Mike. You went after a 5-day-old tweet, and I'm just going, I don't need those friends.
Our mouths and hiding our values when it comes to the comic book industry, then what the hell makes us different than SJWs?
You know what? What you did to Mike, what you did to me, I
didn't do anything to Mike but help him. I didn't do anything to you but raise you up from a tough spot, put you in a position where you could succeed again. And I did that not knowing you because you reached out to me and you asked for my help. And I invested hours and hours and hours helping you.
Yes, and Ethan, I've thanked you many times.
I don't need to be thanked again.
Yeah, you needed it one time.
One time would have been nice. One time would have been nice at San Diego Comic-Con.
You did it one time. I thanked you 100 times before.
But you're not thanking me now. You're actively trying to hurt me. It's pretty
Ethan, I don't want you hurt. I don't want you hurt. Okay.
All right, guys, just a second.
Business. It's none of my business, and I don't want to. I want it to be. I want to be neutral in your life. I don't want to harm your business.
Well, when you talk about Comicsgate and you say awful things about Comicsgate, you are attacking.
I think awful things about Comicsgate because I see them nail my Wikipedia with SJW anti.
You don't know who did that. You don't know who did that. We don't know that.
Well, yeah, but you think it's suspicious that they brought up Cyberfrog?
Gay ops abound. You think people aren't aware?
Yeah, you can create this conspiracy. Ethan.
Hey, guys.
These people are Comicsgate people.
Hey, hold on.
24/7 from 10 different people. I'm sorry, Nick, go ahead.
No. Okay, a couple things. So I have a style. I sometimes have to do this for my job. And I like to let people talk and get a lot out. And you guys have actually gotten quite a bit out. Right?
I'm sorry for you. And Ethan, I'm sorry for raising my voice to you. You don't have.
I'm sorry too, Doug. You don't understand, man. I care about you. I really do. I'm mad at you right now, and I can feel that you're mad at me too. But we were really, really good friends.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though, right? Like, so my job, when I have to act as a neutral or mediator, is to find common ground, find common interests, and find points that aren't productive. The past is what I find is the past is almost never productive. It's good to get it out, right? It's good for you guys to talk about this stuff. I do think that's true. And to put it out there. But as you're talking about it, you know what I'm hearing from both of you constantly? I don't want to hurt you. We're friends. Yeah. I don't want your book to fail. I want your book to succeed, and vice versa. But then there's this hurt that occurred. But yeah, hurt happens, right? People misunderstand things. Things go bad. That happened. There's nothing that can undo that. But what can undo all of the positive goals, what can undo the moving forward is focusing on what happened. And it sounds like, if I can be brutal, it sounds like both of you were in positions where for whatever reason, and there's a lot of reasons, right? We're all big boys on the internet, and we all have these projects going on. Ethan's under a time crunch. I know you're getting heat from Cyberfrog deliverables. Doug's on a time crunch trying to finish Earthworm Jim. Like I had to take the night off yesterday because I was stressed out and needed just a break from producing content.
Oh shit! You're gonna take tomorrow night off too after this.
No. It's fine. This is part of what I do. But you guys have the added pressure of both of you being. This is the risk of being an independent creator, is that you have to be the marketing arm. You have to take all of that onto you every single day, whether you want to or not. You have to get up and you have to promote, you have to do the work, you have to do the art. So look, both of you guys are clearly in a position of vulnerability at the exact same time, and things blew up, right? Like, that doesn't mean much of anything in terms of what you guys actually feel about each other. Obviously, anger aside, you guys clearly have tons of respect for each other and you have mutual goals. Yeah. So there's a way forward in this. But my advice to both of you is that way forward is not focusing on the events. I know obviously with refunds and brand that there's damage done, but my personal perspective is that what I see so many companies where damage done has an opportunity. There's a critical moment where damage can be undone. Yeah. If it's approached at the right point. I think you guys would probably agree that's a thing, that there's a moment, and then there's a moment when it's too far. And what I would personally like to see is not have it go too far, right? There's a time to mend the independent comics community before it ends up like the infighting, snake-infested pit that is the real traditional comics community, you know? And there's no reason to have that. And I don't think either of you want that. But I see what I'm saying here is I see potential for mending this fence. But I think both of you have to let go of the misunderstanding, the misstatements. You guys clearly didn't intend to hurt each other, but you both felt vulnerable and attacked, right?
Yeah, and I think it would be a lot easier if Ethan and I were two guys in a bar and it was just us. We'd go, "Hey, you
have to come into everything."
Hey, you're an ass. Yeah, you're an ass. All right, we had a disagreement. It's when you're trying to herd 100,000 followers, and they're being culturally, they think they're doing what you want by hitting my campaign. If you read the chat right now, there's sketch therapy for the second month in a row just going, Doug doesn't deliver his books. And I'm sorry for even bringing up his name, but I'm saying there's 20 of them. There's 20 of them out there. And they hit my campaign, my email, my customers, my business all day. And after a while, you just go, I know I have a hard time not hating Ethan for this because you're not behind all these guys. We're working on their own. But I'm not. When I left Comicsgate, I was done with it. I was done, and I meant it, and I finished the dedication of the book to you. After I left Comicsgate, I made sure that dedication was there to you, and my thank you to Comicsgate in the credits. I wanted to make sure that I kept that there to show my respect for how people helped me. And I didn't feel like I owed much more than that. I felt like they got me on my feet. It wasn't the finances either. Like you said, it's not the I'm not sitting here living month to month. I was afraid about 3 years out that I was going to have to go into teaching. Is all I'm trying to do is avoid going into teaching. And because I went to you and you showed me that Bigfoot Bill could happen. You showed me how it was done. You showed me how to do the crowdfunding. You showed me how to do the channel. Bigfoot Bill worked, and now I can go off on my own. And most of the Comicsgate people are gone. The hardcore ones that are weirdos are gone. The ones that are cool, that are people you and I both would want in our house and our family people, they're still here funding my book and your book. And I have no problem with that.
Now, real quick, Doug, while you're talking about the subject, you brought up, you preferred not to say his name, but you brought up someone associated with War Campaign.
I've been trying to avoid bringing up his name, and I'm sorry.
Right. No, that's okay. And you've said that you are not directing people to do stuff, but you have to be able to concede that it's entirely possible that Ethan is not either.
100%. I believe that it's possible that he is not saying one thing to anybody. 100%.
And I mean, based on my personal knowledge of you two, I would think that it's likely that neither of you are actually engaged in trying to sabotage the other. But I know it can look that way because there are communities behind everybody. I get accused of this every day in the Vic stuff. Like somehow I'm directing harassment or whatever, even when I say the opposite. And so, I think that's an important thing to remember is that people will act in a specific way. And I mean, I think if there's any group of people on the internet who will act in the way that they choose, it's War Campaign. They've shown that time and time again. And people don't have to like it or listen, but that's what I've seen from War Campaign is that's how they act. And that's just a facet of it. But I think, again, here I am preaching, but I just see a lot of potential in you guys, making headway on this. And I see a lot of the problems coming from the actions of others that are perceived to come directed from someone else. And I think getting past those ideas and having the grace to understand that you're not doing it, the other guy probably isn't either, is a big step in that. But I don't know, Ethan, did you want to respond to what Doug was saying?
No.
Okay. Sounds good. I don't know. I don't.
What did he say? I was eating a pixie stick. What part of this am I supposed to respond to?
I don't know. If you had
Doug saying, it's possible that Ethan is not involved in gay ops is ridiculous. I'm not involved in gay ops. I don't order people to do anything. I've said over and over again, I don't want Doug hurt in any way. I say that publicly. I don't want his campaign refunded. I want people to leave him alone. As it stood, it's kind of like, we're here because this subject keeps getting brought up by fans. It's not brought up by me. It's brought up by thousands and thousands of people who were really invested in Doug TenNapel being a part of Comicsgate, who really enjoyed having him around and feel betrayed by him right now. And that's why this conversation is still going. That's why I get these questions and why I have to answer for it. Why? What did you do, Ethan? What did you do to Doug TenNapel to scare Doug TenNapel away? This is a question that I get to answer all the time as well. I don't feel like I've done anything wrong. I don't
feel like I betrayed anybody either. Screw all those people. I didn't betray anybody. Straight up. Anyone who implies that's a liar.
Yeah, so that's,
I betrayed no one and I backstabbed no one. So they can say that all day. That trash ends, they can eat my apathy. It's not true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so neither of you did the thing that the other person thought they did, or I think what's maybe more important is that what other people have prompted into saying has happened, right? And that's how the internet mill grindhouse works. Is that at some point people do want to see the drama and they'll go looking for it.
Yeah, and I just want to get on. I think we all want to get on and just work on our books and work on our campaigns. And then there's this there's going to be a swirl of fans of either going after the person. And I'm so out of all that. In fact, I've largely, I'm working 14 18-hour days inking pages. I did 3 pages today. And the idea that I'm sitting here reading the pulse of the day-to-day and I don't care. I've blocked Comicsgate and anti-Comicsgate on Twitter trying to clean up my feed. And it will not go away.
It's because it's huge, Doug. It's a lot of people invested in you.
Well, I don't want to hear about
you're
Comicsgate. I want to hear about how excited they are about great comics. I never have a problem if they talk about how excited they are about Cyberfrog. I've got two versions of Cyberfrog coming to me. And outside of that, I've got nothing more to even say, do, or think about that movement. I do regret getting into that movement. I can't help that I did get into it. When I found out that it wasn't my values, I left it. And it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that. I don't wish ill will on people. I've got too much of my own stuff to do.
Doug, you're mad at me.
I've told my backers, do not white knuckle it if you have to. I don't care if you hate the guy's guts. Do not refund any Comicsgater's book because you're against Comicsgate.
Doug, so when I put a rainbow in all my tweets, that really bugged you, huh?
Yeah, I just saw it as when I first came into Comicsgate, I thought, here's a bunch of manly guys. They're gonna stand with me against the SJW rainbows. And I've done a deep dive in all of that movement. I used to work with Breitbart doing research, and we followed the rainbow all the way back to Marx. It is a political movement; it has nothing to do with gay anything. It is so when I see the rainbow and I see Pride Month, I see and it's anti-Christian symbology. It's why Steven Crowder got pulled off YouTube. It's why any of us really need to fear our career is over the politics over the rainbow. So when Comicsgate started attacking me using the rainbow, and a ton of them, including War Campaign, I just went, wow, my God, this is what I was trying to find sanctuary from, because here it is Pride Month, and Scholastic, my old publisher, has a giant Pride Month books for kids. And then there's, Mike Miller puts up the Pride is a Sin. I go, ooh, that's a good one. And then suddenly Comicsgate's coming out with the rainbow. I'm just going like, that bugged me. I went, that shows how unprincipled the movement is. If they think they're against SJWs and they're wearing a rainbow, which is the most you can't name an SJW that doesn't believe in the
Rainbow Brute is in trouble.
Well, Rainbow Brute's a great parody. It's fun playing in that space of.
Doug, why do you find it so easy to hide your values when you're doing Earthworm Jim?
What values do I hide?
Well, as I said in my tweet, is Earthworm Jim anti-gay?
I'm not
so
anti-gay.
Why do you find it so hard to be quiet about stuff like that when you're doing Earthworm Jim, but impossible when you're a part of a movement that's about customer service?
I just did a 1-hour podcast on Audio Mullet that released 2 days ago called "Is Doug a Homophobe?" where I completely expanded on my views on homosexuality. So I don't see whatever you have in your head about me hiding. I haven't hid anything. I'm not hiding stuff.
Well, when I told Mike to you kind of are. You're able to do. You said, "Hey, Earthworm Jim's never been about any of that stuff, Ethan." So why would you say that? It
absolutely is never about. That up with that, you might as well bring it up. It's like when people say you're a Nazi. It's like it has nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
Zero.
Those are SJWs who say that. But I mean, Comicsgate is just supposed to avoid discussion of any of that for the sake of business. It's not a matter of religious or political values because we welcome everybody. It's just supposed to be about good customer service. So what I'm saying is Earthworm Jim similarly is not a political book. It's not a religious book. And you're able to do that and contain your impulses to attack the Rainbow Coalition when you're working on Earthworm Jim. Why are you incapable of doing that when you're, asking for money from Comicsgaters?
I disagree that I don't not attack the Rainbow Coalition. I've been consistent with my values pretty much for as long as people have known me. I really haven't changed I try and be a little more tactful, but it's not, the implication is that I need the money for Earthworm Jim. And that money doesn't change my values at all. It can't.
No,
so it doesn't change the way I act. There's this giant conspiracy of Doug's because I hear it from all the Comicsgaters, or war campaigners or whatever you want to call them. They're going like, Doug used it for the money. Doug used Ethan. Never did it for the money. I was looking for men who'd fight the rainbow, and I found a bunch of guys wearing the rainbow. So I'm just like, not my values, I'm out. And then suddenly they keep going back, going, yeah, but the money. I left Comicsgate and made I made $750,000. I've made, 3 times more on Earthworm Jim after announcing that I was out of Comicsgate. So how could I be doing it to get the money to get into Comicsgate?
So what did you need these people for? What did you need these customers?
I wanted them to fight with me. And by the way, they
didn't want to do that. They just wanted to buy your comic book. What did you need them for?
Oh,
if that's how you felt, I mean, then why didn't you say to them, I just want you to fight the gays with me?
No, not the gays, the SJWs.
No, we fight the SJWs.
No, you don't. Not if you wear a rainbow, you don't. You are an SJW if you wear a rainbow.
I think that's perplexing.
Oh, it's their state bird, Ethan, is the rainbow flag.
I think that's really weird. I think that we're fighting SJWs by doing comics that do not counter them in terms of politics, but just by respecting the customer, by actually producing comics that do not, engage in controversy. I think the SJW is what made your skin crawl when Mike posted "Pride is a Sin," a stupid small joke that you went. Your response to it, which you're allowed your response to everything, but that is cultural condition that you'd think that was out of the norm. Compared to the kinds of jokes that we make every day on Twitter, me, you, and Mike, is well within the range of normalcy. But that one you're conditioned to say, that one is trolling, that one's way beyond the line. When Mike came back and apologized to you, that's why he's going, Mike, are you crazy? You're apologizing for that? And he, yeah, I apologize. And I thought it was dumb. I disagreed with him on that. Not dumb, but wrong. The idea that tweet would be called out is in and of itself SJW, because they demand that you be hypersensitive about all gay issues and strangely callous about others. Mm-hmm.
Ethan, were you going to say something, or should I? I've got some super chats to read.
No, read some super chats. Let me think about it. Let me think about what Doug is saying.
Okay. Philip Stahl says, "Who is the gay SJW with the polo hat?" That was sent a long time ago, though. It just happened to be where I left off. Bad Vibe says, "Excuse me, don't be a hashtag, end of subject." Nova Zero says, "Spurg fight." Aztec01 says, "You both are Christians, so who's Paul and who's Barnabas in this fight?" I don't know.
I am the dove that descended on Jesus when he was baptized.
There you go.
I'm Golem. Was he in the Bible?
Yeah, he was in the other one. Okay. The Big Red Bear says, "Doug, I think you're a great person and creator. I'm a socialist and an atheist. Hell, I don't like EVS. I say this from the heart. I think EVS was trying to help you. I think you were being self-destructive without realizing it." Philip Stahl says, "Polo hat guy can get 360 wrecked." Rhino says, "Hold on, Doug. You left CG in March, but you're bad-mouthing hashtag CG and EVS at least once a week since. If you want no drama, then instigate no drama."
That's fair enough. If that's true, that's fair enough.
I video clipped you bad-mouthing EVS just 2 weeks ago on a live stream. So, fair criticism.
Was that the one that I took down after 400 people saw it? I ended up going way off more than I thought I would. I removed it. A guy started even posting clips of, because why these fucking guys would record my show? Why are you recording my show, man? It's freaking Mission Impossible suddenly.
I don't know. That's Mission Impossible to clip your show.
These guys, can you imagine these guys' drives, Ethan? How many tweets are captured and how many YouTube streams?
What they do. They're watching us very closely because this is entertainment for them, and they go, "This guy's a hypocrite. This guy's lying. This guy, this or that." That's what we're here for. I mean, it's actually entertainment for people. So yeah,
I have like 800 trig drives or something to happen to capture a juicy.
Doug, stop making me look like a not boomer by saying trig drives. What the heck is a trig drive?
I just made that. I just invented it. TM, I'll sue you.
We've got Unhinged Crank says, "It hurts to see friends in such a situation. I wish it can be worked out. Please talk it through. Please work it out. Here's $20 for a bottle of Fireball. Oh, God. Have for each of you." I think $20 would buy 3 bottles of Fireball. Austin Hartless says, to Doug and Ethan, this kind of drama is what scares me about trying to launch my own project. I was never a part of CG and didn't even hear about it till this year. Stephen Frost says, I am loving what I'm hearing. Two friends laying it out like they should and coming to a middle ground. It's so good to hear. Well, I hope that last part is somewhere down the road. Jesse N says, it would make my night if Doug and Ethan kiss and make up. That's a long distance kiss, right?
That's third base. That's third base. We're not there.
David Keegan says, being for equal rights is not being an SJW. It's about being a decent human being. Doug is losing fans for his bigotry and trying to force his beliefs on others. Doug is attacking his fans and then blames them. Deuces. Nick Sex says, Doug, what's your take on the Noahic covenant?
The Noahic covenant. That's the covenant given to Noah
with the rainbow. I think it's the rainbow joke.
Yeah.
Did Ethan step away for a second?
It was like God promised he wouldn't destroy the world for what man was doing before the flood.
Yeah.
A lot of it having to do with the bathhouse.
Jay Ree says, why does Comicsgate care that Doug is or is not anti-gay?
We don't.
Then they follow up with, that as being an SJW. You care about his personal values more than comic books or the movement.
No, we don't. We don't care about. That's not the point. That's not what it is. It's just we don't want negative attention drawn to controversial things like that. I changed my hat. Too many people were making fun of it. So
got the new brand.
Yeah, I got my new brand.
All caps
Comics.
Now, as a question for you, Ethan, if you could clarify on that point. Mm-hmm. You mentioned not caring about Doug's views on this stuff, but Doug is out of Comicsgate, right? It has been since Bigfoot Bill.
Yeah. He can do what he wants.
So can you see the issue that some people might have saying, in some ways it seems like you're trying to police those beliefs, even though he's not in Comicsgate? Or are you suggesting that there's like a lingering association, or what's going on there?
No, not at all. It's not about what Doug believes necessarily, or his personal beliefs. It's the fact that he keeps calling Comicsgate controversial, which is ironic considering that he propagates extremely what would be called controversial beliefs himself. His beliefs so controversial and so important to him that he expresses them that he could not remain within Comicsgate. So that just seems kind of ironic to me. It just seems kind of interesting. And that's the thing. Doug can feel however he wants. Nobody wants to change anyone's point of view. We just want everyone to feel welcome to purchase our comics, to enjoy our comics, to enjoy our live streams, and not feel like they're not wanted there, not feel like they're hated by anyone on our live streams or who produces comics. Just kind of leave it sort of like, open, ambivalent. That's what I would like.
Sure. Doom Guy says, Doug, you're disingenuous because people bought your Earthworm Jim book because they love that character, not because you left CG, you sped. I
hope they bought it because they liked the character, and after they got the book, I hope they got it. They kept it because they liked the book. And in the end, that's what I'm about. And really, that's, to me, the big contract I have with these people. And, some people, they got the book because I was in Comicsgate, and when I left it, they wish they didn't.
No, this is Earthworm Jim, not Bigfoot Bill.
Oh, same applies. Most of the CG guys moved on by Jim. I did get some help from some of those guys, but I've had just so many refunds and tried to process as many as I can. I'll make anybody a book. I don't care what your position is on Comicsgate or War Campaign. If you guys want a book, you get the exact same book as my biggest fan. I work just as hard for everybody who gets the book. And in the end, I think that's what unites us all, is that we love the book. We love the work. We love the exchange of someone paying you to get a book. And that is number one. And I think all of our
we love the readers, we love the customers. We don't care if they're gay or straight. We don't care if they're Christian or atheist. We don't really care. And that we want to make that clear. It's like that. That should be something that welcome people to buying these comics. Don't make it seem like there's nothing worse than reading a comic book. I can't read Marvel comics anymore. I can't read them because I'm fully aware that so many of the people there absolutely hate me for supporting Trump. I can't read those books. So I don't want that to be something that happens. I want to do the opposite of that. I want to just, create the impression that, hey, as long as you're here, as long as you want to be a part of Cyberfrog or Bigfoot Bill, you're invited. You're welcome. People want you. We want you to read the comics, and we value you as a customer and a fan.
The problem is, Ethan, you can't read any comic or watch a TV show or play a video game that isn't made by someone who hates the fact that you voted for Trump. Any musician either.
Hashtag Comicsgate, Doug. That's what it's all about, though. I mean, we could, I don't know. I mean, we could counter them by just kind of creating, a right-wing version of that, a right-wing kind of hug box. I don't think we would do very well.
No, I just think, I think we want to go back to a day that was like 10, 15 years ago when, if I found out a movie was by an SJW, it didn't kill me. If it was by a leftist, it didn't kill me. And if they found out that there was some Christian making a movie, it didn't kill them. People found out Bono was a Christian, and people didn't freak out back then. And now everyone's got to have a period over someone with a different religion. It's like, why the hell do I care if some guy's a Scientologist or some guy's a atheist or gay, straight, whatever? Who cares?
SJWs care. SJWs care. They've told me over and over again they don't want my money. I'm saying I want everybody's money. I want everybody to read the comic. Everybody. That's the difference between what I want Comicsgate to be and what I want SJWs, or what SJWs are, versus what we could be if we went this direction where, people kind of, I don't know, get political, fight against people who are different from them in some way. It doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like a good idea. I don't know. I mean, and the thing about it is that I'm fairly conservative. I relate to a lot of the beliefs that you and Mike have. We differ on some of them, but it's just not. It doesn't sell comics. And ultimately, that's all I wanted Comicsgate. That's what, when I talk about Comicsgate on my live streams, that's what I want Comicsgate to be. That's what it means. Just trying to sell comics and point out why, what SJWs are doing, who they are, what they believe, and how they're hurting comics. Point that out. How can we be different from them?
Well, whatever I'm doing has raised a lot of money for me. So maybe what I'm doing sells comics. Maybe being a dick or getting out of Comicsgate or being a Christian or being evangelical or being anti-gay, whatever it is, I'm willing to take the lumps for what I am. And this one last year with Bigfoot Bill and now with Earthworm Jim exploding is two of the best years financially of the last 5. Well, not since VeggieTales, since 2017. So I don't feel like I need to adjust my beliefs. I think I always need to adjust how well I treat other people, to not raise my voice, to not be as cruel, to be more kind and stuff like that. I see that. As far as my beliefs go, as far as my beliefs, not the first time I've been accused of that. But I do my beliefs themselves. I'd rather it all just collapse before I would change my beliefs. At the best, I'll change being so vocal about them, but I haven't seen that yet. I've been, I did the gospel show last year. I did the Offensive Christ. I'm an outspoken evangelical. I make fun of evolution all the time, and I raised $750,000. So at least maybe the Christians and conservatives are finding me. As maybe for every one that leaves, 2 come in. I got a lot of help, from a lot of social media. And a lot of conservative social media. So I think, including Nick Rekieta's show and your show and Steve Crowder's show and barn burners like Razor Fist and stuff, I got a lot of help.
Yeah. Cool.
But I'm not changing the only way I'll change my values is if someone convinces me different. And the only way that I'll change being vocal about them is when, I don't know when I'll change being vocal. As long as it's legal, I'm certainly going to run through that tent. Mm-hmm. While it's still legal, it's easy to be vocal now. So these are special times.
All right. Darkman McEdge. Oh, what were you saying, Ethan?
I said the chat is killing me. If you see me like just laugh suddenly, I'm not laughing at you, Doug. I'm laughing at someone saying Ethan chugs soy, glug glug. Sorry.
Darkman McEdgeface says, Doug, a rainbow is just a symbol. It means what you want it to mean, and meanings can always change. You giving it to them is like them declaring the OK symbol is a white power gesture. Sometimes a rainbow is just a rainbow.
True. But not when not during Pride Month. I mean, when Burger King puts a rainbow on the wrapper, they're saying something. You know.
Synac 8.
Yeah, I agree. And it's not a big deal. I don't want people to think like I'm waking up all psycho going, the rainbow. It's not like that. It's just I have a lot of clarity about how I dismiss that as a political movement, largely a Marxist movement. Everything Marx does, they take over all of these movements, like the Green Party. They took it over, like Black Lives Matter. They take it over. They took over the rainbow. This is all stuff that I was trained under Breitbart to see. These are Alinsky tactics. If you go down the list, check them off. They all do it. And then they also attack your business. And so when I see it happen, I start to recognize the patterns and go, I get what's going on. I just don't really, most of us, in fact, don't raise a lot of drama over the gay issue anymore. It's old and boring. The trans issue is getting boring. And one day, marrying children will be boring. Marrying children and dolphin children, marrying dolphin children will also be boring. And we'll all get over it. As the Marxist destruction of the family continues down the road.
I do a really good version of Rainbow Connection on the piano. I don't know if you've heard it, Nick. It's pretty good.
No, I haven't.
It's beautiful.
I heard Paul Williams, the writer of it, Ethan. I told you that story. Paul Williams, I was at a Scientologist's Christmas party one year when I was in Glendale. They lived 2 doors down. They were good friends. They knew Paul Williams.
Yeah.
And he was sitting at their grand piano, and I went up and sat by him. And I said, "Can you play me something?" He goes, "What would you like?" And I'm 6'8", and he's little Paul Williams. He's like, come up to my waist, and he played the Rainbow Connection for me right there. The guy.
Beautiful.
Synac 8. I'm not going to read this full one because it's very. It gets mean-spirited towards one of my friends, and
if it's about me, you can read it mean-spirited.
I don't know which one of you it's about, but it's an area I'm not too fond of. So, Synac, sorry, buddy, but I swear that asserts that father of soy get his dirty hands on this movement is going to hit the ground hard.
My hands aren't dirty. Look at that thumb.
I don't know. That's disgusting. Ink?
Inking hand. Look at that. There's some white out on there.
I'm not entirely sure what that chat was saying, but that's what it says.
Report and then figure it out.
Philip Stahl says, the SJW was so hurt he changed his hat. Ha ha ha. Doug doesn't change his values on the fly because of what month it is. So I think Philip might not be your biggest fan, Ethan.
Fuck him.
Farron Abyss Watcher says, the thing about SJW comics is they only allow the SJW ideology to exist in their books, but CG is a platform / guild that is open to all creators with good intentions. Is Comicsgate a guild? Are there fetch quests to rise in ranks? Like, do I have to run across to like West Virginia to pick up a bottle of rosemary extract and bring it back?
Is this going to involve 20-sided die?
Yes. Blaine 20 says, we often can't help but know the beliefs of a producer of a product in this day and age of info. Our biases are now being challenged. In the 90s, I didn't even know who you two were, but I played Earthworm Jim and collected X-Men. So there you go. Dustin Fritz Farr says, I have never understood why people want to flood public spaces and do creators' bidding. I'm here for a laugh, but I'm not someone's personal pawn. So why other people would want to act like they are? # Jew powers immune. So.
Never change your hat to SJWs, I'm told.
No, it's not a good thing. Never tip your hat to SJWs either. That's not either. Not a SJW says, I use the rainbow. I don't consider myself an SJW, hence the name, I'm guessing. I'm too rational. I'm also an atheist that enjoys Doug's work despite his beliefs. Separation of politics and fandom is what I thought Comicsgate was about. There you go. They sent that message twice. Well, thank you for doing that, but I don't know if I need to read it again. I've got a couple more here, and then we can have some final thoughts on this issue and then talk about something fun. Maybe. Criminal Imagination says, I'm bi and my dad became openly anti-gay in his later years. It didn't affect me at all. I was past caring over homophobic remarks. It just came across as childish. It didn't change the respect I had for my dad. And then Darian the Ghoul says, I am very anti-SJW and I am part of the LGBT community. I hate everything SJWs do and ruin my pride flag over what they do. Darian, I'm curious then, how do you feel about the like if they ruined the flag, do you like or dislike the rainbow? I don't know. That's what I'm curious about. You don't have to super chat it, but
that's a tough spot.
If you tag me, I'll see if I can catch it. Doug Schuett says, Doug, as a fellow Doug, I want to pull for you, but I believe EVS thinks of CG the same way you think of Earthworm Jim. You don't tie Earthworm Jim to homosexuality the same as EVS doesn't tie it to CG. So there you go. I don't know. Did you guys have any? I mean, my thoughts. I've made my thoughts pretty clear. Like I feel like you guys both have vast amounts of experience in industries that boggle my mind, and it blows my mind to have either or both of you, especially both of you on the show. Really, it does. It's humbling in its own way. It's surreal. So I feel weird like giving my piece on your guys's issue, right? Because I'm like, well, these guys.
No. There needs to be an impartial, judge to sort things out. Because look, we're two guys who are mad at each other who I think used to, Doug used to care about me a lot. I still care about Doug quite a bit. There are a lot of misunderstandings out there. So, we could sit here and yell at each other. But, I've forgiven Doug. And I want to move on past Doug. I do. I want him to succeed and do his Earthworm Jim. I still don't want him to run down Comicsgate because I think Comicsgate is a benevolent, good, and effective movement. And I'd hate to have to oppose someone who probably feels the same as me about 90% of the issues when I'm trying to fight people who I disagree with 180 degrees opposite. I don't want to fight Doug. I don't want to fight Doug at all. And I don't want Doug to be fighting me either to my face or behind my back. I don't want to be blocked by Doug on Twitter. I think that sends a bad message to our fans, and we have thousands and thousands of mutual fans.
No one would have known, Ethan. No one would have even known.
Well, but now they do though. And again,
yeah, now they do. Whose fault is that?
Well, both of yours.
Yeah.
I'm in dad
mode.
Why would you
block me? Why wouldn't you just mute me?
I didn't want it was the private talks and stuff. I didn't want, when I saw that, I went, not in my inner circle anymore. You're out. I just have there's no trust on that front. On the rainbow stuff, no way, no how. No way, no how. Been fighting it too long. No way, no how. And it's not that I don't wish you well, don't want your business to do great, don't think you're a fellow creator, and that your business is important, and your family is important, your values are important. Just when that happened, I don't know.
When what happened?
Oh, the tweet about the is Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, do you understand what that tweet meant, what it was referring to now? I mean, because a lot of people have, and including me, have made it pretty clear to you what that tweet was actually saying. I know it's a complicated idea, but do you understand that what it was basically saying was, why is it so easy for you to keep your politics out of something like Earthworm Jim, but not do anything but run down Comicsgate and bring your politics bring all of this stuff to a movement that is expressly, and you must have known from the very start, because we talk about it almost every day, that is against that kind of behavior. So you were able to do that long enough to get Bigfoot Bill funded. You're able to control yourself and the things that you say when it comes to Earthworm Jim. But somehow, once you get out of either of those situations and find yourself in a different room, suddenly you are compelled to just, I don't know, do whatever you want, run down the people who helped you and kind of.
That's not true. You can't, I mean, you can say that, but it's not true.
Well, I'm not the only one saying it. I'm somebody who
I don't care who else says it, Ethan. They're wrong too.
Well, Doug, you're wrong when you block me for that tweet, because that tweet was a very pointed criticism of what you were doing and what you were saying. So when you say you're calling me anti-gay, that's not what I'm doing.
You said, is Earthworm Jim gay? I
didn't say gay. I said I don't understand.
I mean, is Earthworm Jim anti-gay? You said, is Earthworm Jim anti-gay?
Because you're saying anti-gay things. You are, and you've been saying
I'm not Earthworm Jim, buddy. I'm Doug TeNapel. Is Doug TeNapel gay? Is Doug TeNapel anti-gay? Not is Earthworm Jim. You tied it to the character. I'm saying, whether if you did it intentionally or not,
Doug,
I can't. Ethan, I can't be friends with a guy who's that sloppy to not know better what the tactics are. So you're either
Doug,
doing it on purpose, or you're stupid. And I think I'll forgive you because I think you're stupid.
No, come on.
Nick, if he's that dumb, he doesn't know the lay of the land.
What is the lay of the land? What am I supposed to gauge your disingenuousness from moment to moment?
Well, I'm only saying, Ethan, Did
I take you at your word?
Yeah. Is Earthworm Jim anti-gay?
Is Comicsgate anti-gay? You knew the answer to that. And so you got out of it and into another situation where you weren't allowed to express your views. Do you understand the tweet? How many more times does it need to be explained to you while you're calling other people stupid?
I do think it's stupid.
I explained it to you 8 times.
If people can't see, I mean,
everyone else is stupid.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Everyone who thinks that as writing is Earthworm Jim anti-gay is not trying to associate Earthworm Jim with
or manipulating you
with being anti-gay.
Or manipulating you and trying to make you believe something that wasn't true.
Well, that's gaslighting, buddy. I don't believe it. I think I've got a real good grasp of what
you were gaslit, Doug, because I've explained to you over and over again, and everyone in the chat understands.
I don't care what the chat thinks, Ethan. You're using it as
your misconception. Then
no, you're using it as a defense for what you're saying. Yeah, well,
you're not paying attention to reality. I'm saying to you that your criticism of Comicsgate as being controversial doesn't make sense.
Not controversial. A rainbow.
You have controversial views which you expand and are proud of them, and I'm proud of you for being proud of them. You should be proud of being who you are. But you bounce from one situation to where you're supposed to suppress your views to the next, and then you blame me for wanting to suppress your views. You find yourself in a situation again where anyone who points out exactly what you say over and over and over again makes it probable that you're going to lose your job. And this is the thing, Doug. It's like you went from Comicsgate to Earthworm Jim. They both don't allow you to speak your mind, apparently. So why am I
speak my mind? I've spoken my mind all I want. I haven't changed anything. This is another conspiracy that you're putting out there. It's not true. I haven't changed my tack. What's that?
Well, I think if I can interject for a minute. Earlier, this is where I think the hang-up is. Ethan had said to you, Doug, that if he could have, he would rather now have said, is Doug TeNapel anti-gay rather than Earthworm Jim? Because I think, if I remember right, Ethan had said that it wasn't about targeting Earthworm Jim, and he empathized with
But then again, Nick, I mean, thinking twice about this, thinking about it again, I mean, it was like Doug was saying, Ethan, I can't talk about the things that I believe. Otherwise, I'm going to lose my job on Earthworm Jim. So Earthworm Jim is stifling you from being a Christian evangelical.
What is it that you think I can't talk about? Because what do you want me to do? Start making AIDS jokes before you're happy? I mean,
what did
I have to virtue signal with how anti-gay I am?
Hold on, just a second. No, so what I think Ethan is saying is that, and this, I'm going back in memory here, but Ethan, you were saying that Doug had communicated to you that there were things that he couldn't say. Is that right? Or that there was some sort of
no, I mean, part of Comicsgate is we don't talk about stuff like that. We don't.
But I'm talking in reference to Earthworm Jim, though. Like that there, I feel like
I never heard that from Doug. Doug never said anything like that to me. That was a surprise to me. Doug told me that his situation with Earthworm Jim was just a straight up trade for one thing for the next, one set of rights for the next. At no point did Doug tell me that there was any kind of morals clause with Earthworm Jim, or that would have been much more clear to me. That seems
there's a normal. I've said there's a normal boilerplate in there that says I will not tarnish the brand, which I would not take as being that I cannot speak out against gay marriage or against whatever I think about whatever issue, global warming or whatever. That would
hurt you. Why would you think that me asking that question would hurt you?
I just thought it was screwed up. How's that even on topic? It's so weird. What does that have to do with anything other than you would try to hurt me with?
In the context of you calling Comicsgate a controversial movement, Doug, over and over. I can't be associated with controversy, you said.
Yeah, Ethan, which has more proof? That Earthworm Jim is anti-gay or that Comicsgate is a controversial movement? Which is more true?
Doug, neither.
You're more offended at what is true than what you said about me, which is about Earthworm Jim, which is false.
What is a more true statement? That Comicsgate is a controversial movement, or Doug TenNapel is a controversial man?
Oh, those are both absolutely true.
Okay, so you're going to take that now into Earthworm Jim, and you're going to tell us that we are controversial, but we can't point out that you are controversial working on a non-controversial project.
And you keep misstating that. I never had a problem with. It's not that Comicsgate is controversial. It's the parts of controversial that I would not risk my job for, Ethan. I will not risk my job for values that are not mine. Like doxing people. It's like those aren't my values, so I'm not willing to tarnish my brand with shit that goes on in Comicsgate all the time that I don't want anything to do with. The side that Comicsgate is for, voting for Trump, yes, those are my values. Fine, I'll take a knife for that, but that's not what Comicsgate was about. So I got out. Get it in your head. Clear up the story. That's just, I don't know how else to say it.
Doug,
it's not over it being controversial. It's over it being controversial over things that are not my values. I'm not willing to tarnish my brand stuff. That is not my values. I don't care about things that are my values. If Comicsgate came out and said, we are against global warming, we think it's fake, I'd be like, oh, cool. I agree with that. I'm willing to go to war over that. So it's not just controversy. It's controversy in things I don't believe in and don't stand for. Is that clear? Not controversy.
I don't, Doug. So far, the things that you don't stand for are me putting a rainbow in my tweets.
You going after Mike Miller for saying pride is a sin.
Yeah,
during Pride Month.
Mm-hmm. And we've talked about that. We've talked about that to death, Doug.
I know we've talked about this whole thing to death, Ethan.
Well, if you guys have talked about it, I mean, there's a lot, obviously, there's a lot of emotion in here. There really is. And it's clear why. This is something I kind of want to transition the discussion into in a weird way.
We're at an impasse, and I'm cool with moving on. But we're not gonna. The impasse isn't going to go away, so we're going to have to just get over it or get around it or whatever, because that impasse is not going away. That's what I believe, and I think we're both. I'm stuck in my views. I'm not coming off this, so there has to be another way around.
I think where the impasse is that both of you have to look forward to where this road leads. And this was a part of the discussion. It's listed in my description. I had this in the plan. I didn't have Doug in the plan, but I had this in the plan.
Yeah, I know. I kind of sorry.
No, that's fine. Is where does this road lead as an independent creator? We're all three of us are content creators. You guys both do YouTube, but then of course you do comic books. You do other art. So where does this road go? And I think that's where the problem is that, Doug is witnessing, in his perception, an attack on a brand in a way that looks, if you take the view of someone who's in a defensive position, looks like it's an attack on something that he's expressed over and over as being the culmination of his career, getting the rights to this book back. Ethan, at the same time, is looking at an attack on Comicsgate as the attack of this thing where whatever Ethan wants to believe, he is the face of Comicsgate for many, many people. And so you guys both have these engines that you've been handcrafting in many ways. And suddenly those engines are under attack or under at least a perceived attack by the other side. And so we don't have to circle back through everything. I think you guys have laid it out pretty well. But what I want to talk about is where do these engines go? What chassis do you throw them in, and how far do they drive down the road? Because as independent creators, one thing we definitely lose is at least the perception of the safety net of the industry, right?
Yeah.
And so I guess, Ethan, if you want to kind of start, where does this go? Where does this go? And I mean, where does this run? And is our life going forward drama and baggage? I mean, that's going to be a part of it to some extent. Usually there are marketing departments to deal with it. We're now our own marketing. So where does it go from here?
Well, I mean, it continues to go forward. I don't believe, I don't know. My personal view, again, is that, customer service means not discussing things like this, not making it a choice. The choice to buy Cyberfrog or not buy Cyberfrog shouldn't be a matter of what you personally believe. And that's I think, at the heart of Comicsgate. So where does it go from here? I mean, I don't know. The industry seems to be collapsing. The mainstream comic book industry is probably not going to be the same in 5 years. We're watching all this stuff go down. So we've got to figure out a way to swim or to survive the collapse of the industry. So I sometimes I feel like I'm feeling around in the dark, but I do believe in these principles. I do believe in them. I think they are the most inviting. I think they offer entertainment to the most possible people. I hear what Doug is saying. Doug is saying, look, by actually coming out and saying what I believe, I'm capturing my demographic. Okay, that makes sense to me too. That's one way to go. And that's Comicsgate should be kind of this thing that kind of initially gets people set up, gives them confidence to do their own thing, and then they should go their own way. Everybody tends to make their own company. Everybody's building their own island of sorts, metaphorically. People are all making different choices about where to go from here. But I don't know. I'm sad about Doug. I really don't know. I'm sad about the whole thing. I think it sucks.
Well, I think it sucks too, but I also, again, emotion and disagreement on some of these basic things aside, like the views are not unaligned. They're not aligned on all fronts, obviously, but it seems like something that time takes care of to me. But I don't know. You guys are in the thick of it, not me.
No, I think time will take care of it too. I can't imagine sitting here and being this small over anything 20 years from now and saying I will not talk to Ethan and not greet him with a warm handshake. That would suck over this kind of a disagreement. I
What
think
about
time
2
will,
months from now? What about a month from now?
it's possible. It's possible. I'm open to anything. I'm just not there now, but I'm just saying it would really surprise me if I met him in person and wasn't social and normal to, I mean, I see the Image guys, they fell apart. Todd McFarland and Rob Liefeld, where they at each other's throats. And then, over time, they swore they'd never talk to each other again. It may have taken 5 years, might have taken 10 years, and then they can talk again. But and in the meanwhile, it hurts and it's kind of small. I just don't think, I'm not trying to carry a burden against Ethan. That is not good for me, and it's not good for him. It's especially not good for me. So I'm trying to push it all out of my life as fast as possible and move on to what I was doing before, which is I want to make books and I want to stay focused on books. And that is the future, is going to be making great books. And this was a serious bump in the road, a serious mistake. And a lot of people got hurt, and a lot of my backers have made it clear, quit talking about it. We're done. I've lost a lot of backers too, just over for and against, just going, we're done. We don't care. We're done with this. We got into this for the comics, and this is crap. And this is the thing where I don't know where the future's going, because I think, I'm weighing into the idea of my future being off of social media, where I need to get out of YouTube and off of Twitter and just go be a book guy and put the book out, because I don't want to try to manipulate the internet into believing what I believe and think what I think. When I get 20 people talking to me in a row on a Twitter tweet, at some point I'm going to talk back. And then it's going to be, oh, he starts drama. I'm just going like, I didn't get into this to be a Twitter talent or a YouTube personality. I just want to make books. I want to sit in the studio. If I could make the same amount of money, $800,000 doing a book without getting on the computer, I would do it. So maybe I'm going to try and put my business together and focus more on having other people market my stuff rather than doing YouTube shows and whatever. Same way we got out of Comic-Cons. I just go, I didn't want to deal with that anymore. I don't want to show. But the bad side of social media, it's good when it's good, and the bad side is you got to stomach this and you got to eat this. And I'm like, this is not what I signed up for. I don't want to.
It's pretty fun, Doug.
Yeah. It is fun to get to have a show is fun. I agree.
I wouldn't look at it as darkly and negatively as you. I'm having a great time. There are bumps in the road. I feel like, inevitably, when dealing with creative people, and I've said this about Comicsgaters left and right, so many people who I deal with, I meet, I have on my show, and I try to promote, have broken hearts, and they're people who've been kicked around and abused by, SJWs in this industry at some point or another. Some of these wounds are more deep than others. And so everyone acts a little bit nutty. And it's like, sometimes it does feel like herding cats. And I talk to my wife and I'm like, why do I still do this? Like, I get absolutely nothing out of it. What did I get from promoting Doug and having Doug on? What did I actually earn from that? Really nothing. I was hoping I had a friend at the end of it, but that's just not realistic. That's not the way people work. Internet friends is not a thing. So at the end of the day, what do I do it for? I do it because I have to. It's a much better use of my time. I'm going to succeed no matter what. My books are going to succeed. I believe that. I believe that I have the talent. I believe that I have the skill. I believe that, I can get people to get invested in my comics and want to buy them. I can get people to watch me on YouTube. Not the way Nick can, but I can get people to watch me on YouTube too. So I'm going to succeed, but I don't want to be the only one who benefits from my work at the end of the day. And I had a vision at the start of this where, eventually where this would lead, where it all ends up, is me with a little company called All Caps Comics, and some of these great talents that I've picked up, talents who were a little tarnished, who were kicked around and beaten up a little bit. have succeeded gloriously and are now publishing their own comic books, maybe under my banner, and are feeding their families or making six figures a year in the comic book industry where other people can't get that to happen. That's my dream. That's all I want out of this. I want to be 80 years old and know that I helped people succeed at being creative and make money at it. So I can't quit. I mean, people are like, Comicsgate is dead, or all these. I think Jeremy the Quartering said that. I can't quit. I can't, because that dream hasn't come true, and that is my dream. My dream isn't to get a Cyberfrog movie. It isn't to get a video game. It isn't even to become very, very wealthy. I think those things are all going to happen anyway. Mm-hmm. My dream is to help everyone around me who asks for my help. And sometimes it's going to kick my ass. And I think this time it kicked my ass. And I'm sorry about that. I think that sucks. I think there should have been a better end result here. But I believe that I am upfront with what I believe Comicsgate is. People who come on my show know exactly how I feel about it and how important it is, I think, to the long-term survival of some of these small press publishers, some of these small press creators, that we all weather this coming disastrous storm, and I think the best way possible. I think I have the answer to that. I think that, when I yell at Mike because he did something super controversial on Twitter, it's out of love. He's my brother. I care about him. I don't want him to hide who he is. I just want him to survive, and I don't want him to get kicked around. I don't want him to endure what me and Zach have had to endure. It's no fun. And that's where I come down. I really hope at the end of this, something good comes of it. I guess not everybody's going to come along. Most people are going to find their own way, but I can't stop doing this. I can't. This is what my purpose is. I think I've decided. And Doug, that all came from prayer. That all came from prayer. And I was an atheist, I think, 5 years ago. But prayer led me to realize that this is probably the direction I need to go post DC Comics. So I trust in that. I'm as Christian as you are. And part of being a Christian, the kind of Christian that I am, I want to invite everyone, absolutely everyone, to be a part of what I'm doing. And I don't care what you believe. I want you to just believe what you believe without hurting other people. And if you can do that, you can come on my show, and I'm going to promote your comic book, and I'm going to try to make you a lot of money, and I'm going to try to help you succeed. And if you can't do that, I guess we have to part ways. That's okay. Someone like you has enough talent that you're going to do fine. You're going to do fine without me. Other people don't have your charisma. Other people don't have your know-how. And other people, I think, need me. So I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and I'm proud of you for wanting to do what you're gonna do.
I appreciate that.
All right, Random Randerson says, but Doug told me Comicsgate didn't contribute all that much to his campaign. And after telling me I was worthless to him, he didn't reply to my refund request on Indiegogo.
What?
Can't support Brutus. So there you go.
I don't understand the context of that. If I said that you were worthless, that is not good of me. So I don't remember saying that. But yeah, I mean, I'm sorry for laughing. It just seems so ridiculous. I don't think I've ever thought anyone was worthless. So
yeah, who knows?
Very weird. I don't. The reason why I don't think Comicsgate raised me that much is it depends on what you think of that much. Some people think, $100,000 is the world. Some people think 10 grand is the world. Some people think $500,000 is the world. And to me, it was not, the big deal was not the money that I got. And it's always great to get a ton of money, makes the rent easier or whatever. Not that I took the money out of bill and put it in my house or anything, or bought a car or whatever. I put most of it into the book and did my best with it. But I value every dollar that comes in, but it doesn't mean that I'm doing this for the money. I've been doing this for a long time. And about half of my books have made zero. That is normal for me. And if you're getting into comics, that might be normal for you. if half the comics makes zero. So whether if it makes money or not, in Earthworm Jim making a ton more doesn't mean I'm oh so right. It's not ends justify any means. That's a false argument. Also an SAW argument. The ends do not justify any means. I'm interested I care about results, but it's the means. I'll be here making this book even if no one buys it. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to make books, and I hope I get to print them and get some people to pay for them, and I will give them a great book for their money. But I'll be making books for as long as I can, and that's all I want to do, really.
All right, Bad Vibe says, I'm an aspiring creator, want to work with talent that can do that. I don't agree with CG/war campaign as of late. I just want to make a comic, deal with individuals, not groups. You'll be seen as the lowest common denominator if you follow a crowd. I don't necessarily agree with that, personally. This one, Unhinged Crank. So this is for both of you. It says, EVS and Doug, Lady Rackets is hot, changed my mind.
True. Not that I'm allowed to comment on another man's wife, but probably true.
I haven't seen her. I'll bet she's beautiful, though.
Yeah, you never have you? Mm-mm. We'll have to come out to your neck of the woods sometime. I've never been out there.
Come to Jersey. Come to Jersey. We'll show you a good time.
Philip Stahl says, then why didn't you just ask a direct question instead of some weirdly worded tweet, Mr. Hat? Ask a question or don't, implying just makes you look bad.
My wife said, wear a hat. They're going to make fun of your bald head, Ethan. She said, you're going on a big stream. What a mistake.
I got to throw in, you are a weirdo.
Mr. Hat.
No,
I'm a weirdo. Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
But I think we cleared that up. I don't want to revisit this too much, but I just want to make sure that I remember you specifically saying that you're not sure on the wording of the tweet, whether it was appropriate to what you meant to say, but that it doesn't matter, right? Like
I wouldn't do it again. I would take it back. I still believe every word of what I wrote in that tweet, but I would take it back because I don't want to hurt Doug. So if I had a second chance, I would take it back.
So there you go.
I appreciate that.
The Big Fee says earthworms are hermaphroditic, so can they be anti-gay? They literally are anti-gay, I think, if they're hermaphroditic, right? Like
they're indiscriminate.
Yeah,
I guess.
Well, I mean, they must be opposed to what they don't know. I've heard earthworms are very, very opposed to change, unless they get cut in half. Then they have two. Bad Vibe.
It's true. You get two worms.
Bad Vibe says, I'm an aspiring creator and want to work with individuals. I want consistent stories and some respect to the fans that support my story. Don't follow a crowd or lumped with a group, and I don't agree with their actions. I don't agree with their actions. Grunu says, is Earthworm Jim anti-gay? Please understand how that statement could be taken the wrong way. Yeah, we've covered this. It wasn't the intention, but it was the effect. Could you guys take 10 minutes of your time and watch the Zygon War speech from Doctor Who? Not on this show, we can't.
No. Yeah, not in the contract. That was not in the prenup.
Yeah, James Trammell says, how would EVS tweet harm Earthworm Jim more than Doug's own statements? Why does Doug believe his CG is anti-Christian claims are less harmful to CG creators? And how does he justify that if he's going to say EVS was out of bounds? Well, again, we've been down this road. I don't want to get back into the circular.
Oh, it's okay that he's gonna put that tweet on my Twitter about 1,000 more times in the next 48 hours. All these guys are. Don't. I'm bored.
Stephen Frost says, sounds like EVS believes the creator and creation are one and the same. Doug seems like the two speak for themselves. That's what I'm hearing. Mark C says, Doug, Matthew 5:38-40. No matter what is said or what is done, as a Christian, it is your place to turn the other cheek and let God handle it. Ethan is staying true to his principles. You are being hypocritical. Mythos Irving says,
and I do believe when someone asks forgiveness, I have an obligation to forgive them 100%. So I
already forgave you, Doug. You didn't even ask for it.
100%.
And I forgave you.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, that's good.
It's the principle is that I've been forgiven so much that how can I hold something against another person who asks forgiveness?
Who's done so little to you? Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's such a small offense.
Ethan, I do believe in the big picture of things. This is largely harmless. I'm telling you that right now. I don't sit here and think like you came over and like hit me in the head with a hammer or stabbed me or something. I think that's BS. I think this is largely a soap opera, and I don't want to diminish other people's feelings for how they feel, but I'm saying you know, I don't stay up at night thinking about it. So I agree with you. You did not hurt me that much. I absolutely will stand by that.
Well, you should unblock me on Twitter. You should unblock me on Twitter, Doug.
No, I'm keeping you blocked. I don't want to read your feed.
Well, I agree with Ethan on that one. I agree with the hat that you should unblock him because I don't believe in blocking.
I'm going to block you too, Nick.
You block me and I will come to your house.
I tried, guys. I don't know.
Mythos Irving says, now that I hope there's peace, time to make a joke, taste the rainbow, but not each other's fart boxes. That's gross. Synac 8 says, gonna have to clarify my last message. Oh, okay, good. I pre-read this. I thank you for clarifying. I had to use text-to-speech to make it. And the joke was towards Sargon, since Comicsgate is becoming the new Gamergate, and the last part was about his miscarriage.
They wish. Oh, those Gamergaters wish Comicsgate was the new. They're always like, well, who is who? I guess Tug is Mundane Matt. And
don't do that to Tug. Don't do that to Tug. Oh, my God.
Tug, no. If you're listening, I didn't mean that. I'm just saying, for example. Yeah.
So the last part was about Sargon's miscarriage, and he is fine with those jokes, by the way. Okay. I didn't know if that was targeted at either Ethan or Doug, and I was like, oh my God, that's a joke that I wouldn't ever say to a friend. So Sargon, I don't care about. Philip Stahl says, well, I don't know him. I don't know the guy. Philip Stahl says, I'm bald. I shave my head like a good American. Take the hat off while you're indoors, old son. Let's see. So that's the big chats that have come through. I've got a bunch more, but I never want to make anybody stay, like for the full reading of the chats. But you guys are both welcome to.
I gotta go to bed.
Yeah,
I'm gonna stay with you.
You guys stay on. Thanks, buddy.
Sounds good. Thanks for coming in, Doug, and saying your piece. I personally hope you'll consider unblocking Ethan. I think it'd go a long way. I know that's ultimately your decision. And
how about Ethan? How about if I mute you? I'll mute you.
So Doug, it's okay. I've forgiven you. We're gonna move on past this. I will never mention your name, especially not spitefully again. Ever again.
I appreciate that. I'll do the same. I'll do my best to do the same for you. And if I make a mistake, let me know. I'm sorry.
I can't. I'm blocked.
Yeah, you gotta unblock him, Doug. This is what I'm talking about.
I went on
the
biggest block and mute spree just to clean up my feed, and now it's amazing. I just get like pieces of art just show up and some pictures of flowers. It's like I don't see anything anymore. All right, my friends. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night, Doug. Catch you later. Someone says Sargon has more than 15 times your subs with his both channels. I don't care. That doesn't mean I know him. What the heck? I can't know someone because they have more subs than me. I mean, I like Sargon's show, or I used to. I don't really have time to watch anything lately, but I used to watch his show all the time. I got no problem with him. I just don't know. Yeah. John Albert says, can't believe you donate to charity. How dare you? Yeah, Ethan. So this is the attack on me today. Enough about you two. Let's talk about me.
Finally, yeah. Let's give you some help.
I need tons of help. Some guy thought it would be the big attack on me is that I made a large donation to the Minnesota Zoo in 2016. He found it.
Why is that bad?
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't typically talk about my charitable activity, but this guy brought it up, and I was like, yeah, I donated, and I donated more this year, and the year's not over yet. It's like, what? But what's the issue? I don't know. Should I have donated to somebody else?
Well, maybe. I don't know. That's funny. Good for you. I love the zoo. It's important.
And the Minnesota Zoo, particularly, if I can brag on them, they used to do a fund the need for like some specific animal. I remember one year it was like Asian wild horses or something. And I don't care about that so much. But the past couple years, they have switched and they've started doing the fund the need. They have a charity ball that I go to each year. And they started doing the fund the need. And what it does is it specifically is engineered to make to pay the admission fee for low income people. So if anybody is in Minnesota this year because they've switched to this, if anybody is on any kind of government assistance, any government program, they can go to the Minnesota Zoo, which is a nonprofit but not a free zoo by any stretch. It's actually kind of pricey. They can go there and they can get in for free and they can take their kids.
That's great.
I was
awesome.
like, how can I not donate to that?
Yeah, you have to. That's good.
Yeah. So anyway, John Albert says, "Hey Nick, since the Vic stuff is slow, there hasn't been news in 4 days. It's slowed down."
I thought there was news today. I thought there was some pretty. I mean, I'm not following everything, but people were talking about.
There's a big development, but it's not in the case documents yet.
Oh.
So the big development is one of the original tweet that kind of kicked this off was from some random person named Han Leia on Twitter. And she made this tweet about Vic being some sort of abuser or pedophile or whatever. And she made that tweet based off of a conversation she had with her friend. Turns out the friend was misidentifying Vic. It's actually this guy, a voice actor, also a Funimation voice actor named Illich, who had slept with a minor. And when discovered or confronted about it, he, with the minor's parents' permission, took her to Vegas and married her. They could get married. She was 16. She was 16, and that was the legal age, I guess, in Vegas with parental consent. So they did it. They got married, and he avoided jail time. But this person was telling that story and then saying it was Vic. And Han Leia was using that, I guess, as the basis of her tweet. Now, the interesting thing is Monica Rial, who was backing up this Han Leia stuff and using that as the evidence that she had, the justification that she had to speak out against Vic, dated the guy who did this. She dated the Illich guy, so she knows that story's not about Vic. She has to. So
it's crazy.
It's like, so yeah, I mean, that news happened today, but it's not the case yet. I'm guessing that's going to find its way into a filing or two.
It's just fun gossip.
Yeah. For now it's just gossip, but oh my gosh. JMD Reed says, "Off to bed, watch tomorrow. Like you both, Nick and Uncle E, hoping for a good show." Well, we'll see. That's for you to decide. Mexican Man and Cheese says, "Black and French." JP Gotrokit says, "When does the Nick EVS oil wrestling start?" How versed are you in oil wrestling?
Pretty versed,
I feel like I'm at a disadvantage already.
Yeah.
You do a lot of oil wrestling in your day?
It's gonna do some later.
Oh, hurry up and wait says, "If this is opera, then Jim is Dr. Phil." Oprah, then Jim is Dr. Phil. Matthew Connor says, "Nick, you missed court yesterday and lost the case." I miss court every day and lose the case. The Fuzz says, "Ethan talks about CG only being redundant, but they'll have forms whilst he spends countless hours on Kiwi farms. What's with that?" They'll have forums. Well, are you on the Kiwi farms?
You bet. Yeah.
I heard about it, but I couldn't find it, and I didn't have time to really dig into it. So how you liking it?
It's okay. I think there's some really, really clever people on there. Very, very smart people with good ideas. A couple in particular. And I used to just lurk there and steal ideas from them, frankly. I mean, people just really talking about Comicsgate in ways that were interesting. And I finally created an account and wanted to talk to some of those people. I like it.
Yeah, I'm strictly a lurker. And I don't know if I could even make an account without being at some sort of risk at this point until at least this lawsuit is over. But no, I love the farms. Very, very smart people on there. Very observant people who do archive everything. I mean, Doug was talking about trigger bytes of data, and they've got trigger hard drives full of data. Hurry up and wait says, "Oh wait, I read that one. Dang it." Blaine 20 says, "Hold up, wait a minute. It's a 22. Pew, pew, pew." Lazarian 444 says, "People should just go their separate ways and no hard feelings. Their actions after that can measure them. Sometimes that's the right thing to do. Other times it's not."
Yeah, it's not that easy though when you've got like big fan followings and people kind of
with overlap.
Yeah, it's difficult. You never hear the end of it. And poor Doug hasn't heard the end of it. I haven't heard the end of it. And what happens is when we got together just now, it's like, I answer people. People ask me questions about him and I answer them and it gets back to him and he's like, there's Ethan talking about me. And so he says stuff and it gets back to me and it just blows up into something that it doesn't really need to be. It's a public argument. It sucks.
Yeah, it really does. I'm with it. Bad Dragonite says, don't gatekeep me, bro. Big Red Bear says, screw Doug and Ethan is soy. Both can be true. Jay Sifa says, Uncle EVS, YouTube has kept me from sending you those sweet super chats, so I'll send them to Senpai Rekieta instead. Actually, that was my plan, was to prevent you from getting his super chat so I could get him. Seriously, love you, man. Thanks. Hashtag Comicsgate forever. Kalinka Pavlova says, I always want to say that with like an offensively Russian accent.
Do it.
Well, because like Kalinka Pavlova, right? Like it's because I played a Russian in a play. And so every time I read that name, that's how I want it. I just want CG to give me a reason to spend a fortune on international shipping for a medium I've yet to delve into. And this drama puts me off a bit. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem with drama. E says, I liked Doug until he came on your show, Nick, and with a straight face said Comicsgate didn't help him much for getting money and connections he got. Yeah, you got to judge Doug at his words. I'm not here to change that. Barb Rogers says, drink up for Cecil and Smugless. Hashtag save Cecil. What's up with Cecil? I'm hearing like some stuff happened with Cecil.
Yeah. Cecil was drinking in his backyard and in his sister's backyard in 4 p.m. or something like that, wearing a green alien mask with the mouth cut out and a baseball cap and the dog walker. I mean, he lives in a very ritzy neighborhood. You have to understand, like, the Hamptons almost, And dog walker shows up and just sees some maniac in this woman's backyard. And Cecil, he goes, hello. And Cecil comes running at him like, oh, my God, like he was on the computer live streaming. He raced at the guy. The guy probably had a heart attack thinking he was about to be killed by Leatherface. And Cecil had to whip off his mask and explain, hey, no, I'm Judy's brother and et cetera, et cetera. Well, the guy went, OK, buddy, and then went and called Judy, Cecil's sister. And Judy was like, are you in the backyard drinking whiskey dressed like Leatherface? And so, yes. And so Cecil is being thrown out of his sister's basement.
Why wouldn't you be in the backyard drinking whiskey dressed like Leatherface? I see nothing wrong with this. I don't care how ritzy it is.
That's so funny. I love Cecil.
Someone said a Cecil Florida man. Yep, I think so. Austin Heartless says Comicsgate hates that late and gay lawyer. Oh, hi, Nick. JP Gotrokid says this is not the hot oil wrestling I was promised. Batgoat says same 5 people keep saying F Doug. Same thing with War Campaign. We hear you, STFU. I want to chat with regular people. Ugh, puke. Yeah, some people spam chats. And that's, well. Harbinger 345 says didn't know we were having a Chad Dad stream. Unhinged Crank says buying some fireballs to help your kids sleep. Barb Rogers says where's Cecil? Mighty Thor says I blocked WC and 99% of CG drama vanished. Cherry are crazy, but so are War Campaign. I've seen them do and say things you'd see come from Wade and Renfamous. Crazies on both sides of that. Cherries and War Campaign dispute. Cherries? I don't know the lingo. It's an emoji of cherries.
They are. They're like War Campaign. They're another group.
Oh, so there's another one. Gotcha.
They fight with War Campaign, and War Campaign fights with them. That's why I mostly kind of would stay out of it because it looked like 2 opposing groups of people fighting each other and enjoying the internet.
Can they dance fight for us? Like can it be West Side Story or whatever? Mighty Thor says, P.S. War Campaign aren't fans, but publishers. They sold me and others a book with more coming and treated Comicsgate customers like absolute crap with their nutty Comicsgate identitarianism. Cue crazy War Campaign attacks for a year. Well, there you go. The Fuzz says Thor calls himself a creator, but I've seen him put customers down. He's a soy liar. It took no time at all. That happened the same minute as that previous chat. Unhinged Crank says I'm buying fireball shots to help your kids sleep. Champion Gannicus says Doug is the man. Random McRanderson. I read that one. The Fuzz says 106 still missing Bigfoot Bill books. What's up with that? Champion Gannicus says Doug rules, Nick rules. Gannicus, did you watch what was it? Spartacus, like Blood and Sand and all those, the stars Spartacus?
That was great, yeah.
Yeah, Gannicus, man. That was a handsome fella. I'm just gonna say it.
Oh, okay. All right.
He was the guy with the long hair, the really good fighter who gets out.
Yeah.
Or whatever. The Mighty Thor says, I want to see Comicsgate grow and thrive, but the mentally ill are death to growth and healthy business, both in mainstream comics and in Comicsgate. Kalinka Pavlova says, I like Doug, even if, in my opinion, his opinions suck arse. Champion Gannica says, Ethan lies, war campaign lies, it's all lies with them. Boy Do Wen says, I backed both Doug and Ethan campaigns, love both your art. I'd love to get a damn it, Nick, we lost the case again shirt. You got it. I put the link up on Twitter. I'll do it again. It's not from me. I don't own that shirt. That's the Beard Daughters Enterprise there. Demonic Beast Megatron 94 says Ethan and Doug need to kiss and make up. Emphasis on the kiss. Only if it's slow, I think. Andrew Huerta says real friends check their friends. Fact. E says I backed Doug after seeing him on EVS's show. Fact. J Dodd says Earthworm Jim is the book I'm looking forward to the most. Perfect Blue says EVS has the high ground on the business sense. Doug is advocating idiotic practices that are anti-capitalism and pointless. Brett says, Ethan, God will take care of Mike as long as he is true to his faith. He shouldn't compromise his faith for CG money. And you can respond to any of these if you feel like it. But,
no, that's a perfectly reasonable thing to say.
Yep. I just wanted to let you know, because I'm kind of going through them quickly, but just stop me.
Yeah.
You know how it goes. Just Indriat Bhakta. Whew. EVS, your half-wit minions ran off Nurkish, GTFO. Anthony Scott says, Doug doesn't want me as a customer, even though I backed both Bigfoot Bill and Earthworm Jim. I'm eBaying that thing as soon as I get it. Doug can eat a bag of dicks. Jack Straw says, run, hide behind your block wall and talk shit. Soy-based Thor war campaign owns you. Indriat Bhakta says, CG barely helped Doug Earthworm Jim comic. EVS is a liar. DJ Kong says, where does Doug's or anyone's personal exclusionary beliefs belong in a business movement? Kalinka Pavlova says, my 6-year-old is better at arguing than you guys, for real. Rip, I don't know if that's all three of us, but I'll take the loss too. Matt Wenger says, buy my book. Nicholas Glenn says, homosexuality is an abomination before God. Fact. Nilux7 says, Doug, you need to be a good steward. Saying global warming doesn't exist is like saying nothing needs to be stewarded. It's abrogating responsibility. Torga DW says, vengeance is mine, I will repay. If LGBTQ is wrong, that's between them and God. We're just mere mortals who should love thy neighbor. Downshift says, I'm glad I backed Bigfoot Bill. I ordered 1 book and I got 3. Earthworm Jim can sit on it, though, quitting while ahead. Jack Straw says, Doug, ever think you got people to hate you on your own without EVS? There's a lot of, these aren't interactive. These are just statements.
Yeah, well, they're pies that are being thrown at us. I mean, essentially,
It's true.
Yeah.
So you got to open wide then, right? And eat.
Yeah, really. Yeah, definitely.
I read Did they seriously ask you if you wanted to combine your 2 11-inch cheesecakes into 1 17-inch cheesesteak?
Cheesesteak sandwiches. Yeah, it was the weirdest thing. And she acted like this was a normal thing to ask me. She goes, instead of those 2 11-inch cheesesteaks, do you want to just get 1 17-inch one? And I was like, that doesn't make sense. Like, that's not a reasonable thing to ask another person. And this isn't a negotiation. I thought I was ordering food. It was really weird.
Even if you were getting cheesesteaks rather than cheesecakes, 2 11-inch cheesecake or cheesesteaks is 22 inches of cheesesteak, not 17. What is this? That's
Do the math.
That's 5 inches.
Yeah, it was weird.
Let's see. E says, Doug, you are the creator of Earthworm Jim. You say you don't want controversy, then go on the attack saying rainbow group in a negative context. The Fuzz says, war campaign has never memed underage girls. Doug, you effing liar. Stabby McStabswood says, for being anti-equal rights, Doug sure does act gay. Kalinka Pavlova says, you two are too old to be arguing about this shiz.
We're friends. Look, we're friends. We're fighting. It's, it is dumb. I'm not going to argue ever again.
Yes, you will, Ethan. Fight me on it right now. I dare you. White Tea. You tweeted to Zaid the other day and I died.
What did I say to Zaid? Do you remember?
You asked him to represent you in something.
Represent me in a case of harassment against Mark Wade, and I showed him the proof. Yeah, Mark Wade sending me these emails that are just like, Ethan, you're rat fuck. You're so fix this now. Fix this now belongs on a T-shirt at this point. But I mean, I don't know how that guy. You own him so hard every single time. And he's like, he feels like the nerd on the playground sometimes and responding to you.
Yeah. He's weird, man. He's weird. You know what? I don't know that he's done a single bit of work on the case for Maya. It seems like he was brought in as like here's my theory, and you can comment as you choose, but I think Mark Zaid saw Mark Wade getting sued and is like, I love comics. I love this guy. I'm going to help out in some way, and decided to be like a public, maybe a public spokesperson for Wade more than actually working on the case and taking money. I don't know that he's charging him at all.
I can't imagine that Mark Wade. I kind of picture, and this does kind of happen to me too. Like if I announce that I have a need of something, I'll get emails from fans that are just like, well, I do that for a living. Like if I said I need flooring, I get emails from people who are like, I live near you and I put in floors. So I think the same kind of thing happens, with Mark Wade, where it's just like, hey, there's a chance, an opportunity to save the marginalized people from the evils of Zach. I think he's getting it for free. I'm pretty sure Zaid is volunteering for free, but like his what would you call them, sub counsel,
local counsel.
Local counsel. I'm sure. Yeah, they're being paid, obviously.
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe Zaid helped him find those people too. Which is, there's nothing untoward or wrong about that, by the way. That's not a criticism. It's just my working theory, because I don't see Zaid's name on any documents. And he seems to always be like a little bit off on what's going on with the case. But anyway, White Tea Poison says, EVS said he's not the leader of Comicsgate and then later referred to it as his movement. So which is it very manipulative? I don't agree that's manipulative. You can not be the leader of something and still consider it your own.
Listen, I'm not the leader I was never the leader of the Mormon church, but it was still my religion growing up. It's not anymore. Comicsgate it's my movement, just like it's everyone's movement who's a part of it. I'm invested in it. I care about it. And I think about trying to make it better every single day. So. But I'm not the leader of it. It's a ridiculous thing. I don't want to be that.
John Albert reminded me that I missed part of his chat. He said, hey, Nick, since the Vic stuff is slow, and then I got off on a tangent. Maybe you and Hero can do Shane Neville's letter. I remember in a live stream, you might do a stream about him. Yeah, well, I'll have to talk to Hirohe about that. I got to check up on it. Okay, so back to where we were. Where's the ear juice? I think was the next one. Go. Oh, I hate this. Mm-hmm. Actually, my buddy is working on a super chat management system if you're interested. I don't know.
No. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, you can like check them off as you go and stuff like that, and it tracks them and sorts them by like amounts, and you can check them off as you read them.
I'm getting roasted in the chat right now. Somebody says this never would have happened if you had worn your magic underwear today. That's what I get. That's what I get.
Yeah. Have you seen Book of Mormon?
No, I haven't. I love those guys, Trey and Matt, but I haven't seen that.
I've seen it 3 times.
Broadway's gay. I don't go,
Well, I'm always late and gay, so I go to Broadway shows all the time. Man, that show is
it funny?
Dude. It's
don't make a movie.
It's really controversial in some parts. Like, you don't have to be a Mormon to wince a little bit at some of the comedy because it's targeting Mormons, but it's targeting Christians a lot too. And but that's fine. Like, but you gotta be ready for it. But it's good. If you can get past that, it's funny.
Yeah.
Very funny. Felipe M says, Ethan, I support you. Comicsgate is way better off without crazies like Doug, and I'm saying it from a way more religious perspective than Doug will ever have. But anti-evolution, FFS, man, Ethan is not all of Comicsgate. Ear Juice says, I hope I never become part of a pack of e-celeb twats fighting over BS, control, and reputation. Shame on all of you and your massive egos. Okay.
Massive egos.
There you go. Tucker. No, you stupid thing. Not you, Tucker, the window I'm in. Dang it. Oh my gosh, I hate this stupid window. Tucker says the Rekieta Peace Conference is not going well. Oh, well, I think it we'll see.
No, I'm of the opinion that, when people have an argument and they're angry with each other, sometimes you do need to shout. And I know it doesn't look good to other people, but we're hashing out really kind of bitter feelings that, we've held on to for a few months. So, shouting is the first step. Get it out and then see what you can do from there.
My opinion has been for a long time that men yell at each other when they're friends.
Yeah.
That's part of it. Sometimes you hit each other.
If I didn't care, I would come on here and be like, I don't care. I would be completely emotionless. I'm not supposed to. I'm not going to talk about him. He's not here, but I do care. Let's just put it that way.
Yep. Oh, I can tell. I can tell you both care. It'd be, if you see anything other than that, you're misreading. JR says, just a friendly reminder, taxation is theft. My kids are so anti-taxation. It's hilarious. And I didn't even do it. I'm not reading libertarian tracts to my kids. They just got there anyway. My daughter's like, Dad, when I grow up, I want to be in the government. Why? So I can get taxes, because they just take money from people. It's like, oh my God. John T. Net says, backed many books only because of EVS. Still no Bigfoot bill. Emails ignored. Honor given should not expect gratitude, but honor unreciprocated. Instead answered with a knife. Shows one character. The abject absence of it. Lee Kuan Yew, founder of Singapore. Interesting quote. Let's see. Kalinka Pavlova says, high school type drama never ends even in your 50s. No, it really never does. It really never does. I will say that with confidence. You go into any workplace and you are back in high school. The opinion, and that doesn't change just because the workplace is YouTube. The opinionated one says, to be honest, seems the cherries and war campaign are the leading causes of the drama, so y'all should probs denounce them both. Make sales, not drama, politics at your own risk. See, I disagree on that. I don't think it's anybody's job to denounce anybody or to take ownership for their actions. You don't have to endorse it, but you don't have to own it. NL Deadman says, Doug claims EVS sent people after him with is Earthworm Jim anti-gay, but denies that calling EVS anti-Christian and Caesar kills Christians would send people EVS's way looking for refunds. Sounds legit. And I did try to call him on that. Hopefully I did an okay job. Sept Denov 7 of 9 says, we need a courtroom sketch artist. Kalinka Pavlova says, thank you, Nick, for being the voice of reason. Phew. Above average Peen Jeremy says, war campaign has been infiltrated by SJWs and trolls. Comicsgate needs to just dump it. It's cancer causing all the drama in Comicsgate. Canonist Coma says, like marriage, friendships are not without the ups and downs. It's never going to be 100% sunshine. There's stormy days too, and often. Andrew Huerta says, there's only one way. Cyberfrog versus Earthworm Jim. What do you think? Crossover comic?
I don't think it's possible. No.
Trevor Nichols says, Doug, do you curate the comments on your videos? You have 100+, mostly positive and a few critical. You're under siege from EVS fans. How is there so little vitriol and downvotes on your video? I don't know if he does or not. I doubt it, because that takes a lot of time, but maybe. Rhino says, completely unrelated. What's wrong with teaching? Seems like easy money. Oh, it's not. Many reputable accredited universities have entire degrees in art online. I don't know. Would you teach, Ethan?
Yeah, I would love to. I enjoyed it. I got to teach kids how to draw superheroes, like fourth graders, in an art class.
Sure.
And I came in all week long and taught them comics, like the whole day, because like they cycle in different classes. I must say, I was sad when it was over. It was just a week long, and I thought I could actually do this.
Man, I don't think I could. I don't
Really?
think I could. It would be tough for me. Correction. I do teach. I teach high schoolers at our homeschool co-op every year. But that's 1 day a week, one class. Teaching full time would be tough for me. It's a lot. It's a lot of work, and anybody who thinks that teaching isn't hard work is, I think, mistaken. But I don't know. Maybe for some people it isn't. My buddy's a teacher. I'm going to try and bring him on the show either this week or next week too, because I think you guys will like him. But anyway, Bald Eagle 1787 says, Ethan, Comicsgate isn't the same Comicsgate that started. It's been infiltrated and corrupted. You and Doug should focus on supporting creators that just want to create comics. That's what Comicsgate was about to start with.
I know, I hear that stuff all the time.
Yeah. Well, and it's tough because just because something has been changed doesn't mean that you don't fight for it.
Well, Comicsgate, the Comicsgate that I fight for, the Comicsgate that I believe in, hasn't been infiltrated. It's in my, it's what I talk about. There are individuals that, of course, come in and cause trouble and controversy, and that doesn't change the truth of and the purpose of what I want to do. So, I don't know. I just shrug. Sorry.
Yeah. Damashep says, many SJWs have pretended to be Comicsgate, then did and said bad stuff, trying to destroy it from within. Don't be too quick to assume the baddies are Comicsgate. I think that's wise advice. Shuru says, at best, Doug has demonstrated that he is willing to throw CG under the bus based on rumor and speculation. I can't trust that. Jack Straw says, Fredo to Naples. Now that's just rude.
That's a new thing, Fredo. The Fredo thing.
Yeah, Chris Cuomo.
That's not the worst insult imaginable, apparently, to call someone Fredo.
Yeah. Is that like because of like fettuccine Alfredo? Is that
it's The Godfather. You've seen The Godfather movies?
Yeah. I thought it was a funny Italian joke.
Fredo was the dumb brother. Fredo was the incompetent dumb brother. Yeah.
I thought it was a pasta joke. I thought it was a derogatory Italian pasta joke. Oh, God. And I was with it. Now, who likes Italians? Torga DW says, judge not lest you be judged. Midnight in Exile says, an industry of expression and telling people to be quiet are mutually exclusive. EVS, you're killing me with this censorship.
It's not censorship. It's business.
Mocha Stim says, social justice warrior trying to police people's gayness and shouting immorality is just that. It's demanding society to conform to you, Christian SJW.
I am not demanding. No, I'm not supporting anything.
I think that was directed at Doug.
Oh, okay.
Philip Stahl says, can I buy Mr. Hat a better hat? Budget is $40 so he can get a hat that fits properly. Maybe a new era flex fit or something that doesn't look like his skull is being strangled. Looks painful. DM me.
I like it. I like this kind of hat. I like it. It's good.
Is your skull being strangled?
Always. Whether I'm wearing a hat or not,
Malfra says, my second time donating. Hey, thank you. My flooring business is picking up with a guy who managed to grab job deals from talking his way through companies, but has no idea how to actually do the job. Do you know any business lawyer in Toronto you would recommend? I feel like I know a Toronto lawyer. Let me see if I can find you one. Malfris, email me and I'll see if I can help you out with that. Gawker's Death Rattle. Wait, no. Felipe M says, Doug, people knew you because of Comicsgate, because of EVS. Don't lie. I thought you were still a Comicsgate when I backed you last time. Gawker's Death Rattle says, Doug seems incapable of understanding the difference between someone who is simply fine with LGBT and someone who wants to destroy in the LGBT's name. E says, Doug, I don't want controversy with Earthworm Jim. Oh, by the way, anyone that uses a rainbow is part of the Rainbow Marks conspiracy, WTF. The Geek Conservative says, Doug, I never got an answer on if the bums had a jar of mustard and a poodle. And alas, you still don't. I'm sorry. David Harvey says, Doug, you made 700K because of the name Earthworm Jim. DJ Kong says, Rainbow, I am a U.S. Marine Corps combat vet and Purple Heart recipient. staunchly anti-SJW. You still want to apply I'm not a man for using rainbow and good spirit? Crypto Comics says Doug's beliefs in Christianity and the nuclear family are neither controversial or abnormal. Saying they are is an extreme left position. Thank you, Hugo, for the donation. Jay Cephas says, I bought 2 Bigfoot Bill and 2 Earthworm Jim. I will never cancel them, but Doug has been disloyal to EVS. Doug, you have been disloyal as F. It pisses me off. Criminal Imagination says, I respect Christians and their beliefs. There's quite a few stories that I still really like in the Bible. I'd prefer the rainbow to represent power in the 70s rock band Rainbow. JP Gotrokits says, I came here for the oil wrestling, saw a threesome. This is just like every other internet website you go to. Fook Google 2 says, Doug, you're a massive talent and I love you. Amateur Anth says, God flooded the world because of DNA manipulation from the fallen angels. The perverted thing humans were doing was a side issue. Unbeknownst times 12 says, this is the definition of the difference between popular piece of IP versus the creator. Hyrule 47 says AE Ivan equals Hyrule 47. Okay. I don't know what that means.
A secret code, I'm sure.
It's a math formula and I'm a lawyer. We don't do that. David B says, backed every project from both of you and a big fan of both of you. I hope you can work it out. But regardless, I needed to see you two try and talk this out. It is cathartic regardless of the outcome. Finn Frog says, the hunt might kill you. Sarcasm. Cult Film Video says, if CG is about CS, why isn't EVS refunding requests?
What's CS?
Customer service. Customer service.
I am refunding requests.
Yeah, and you guys kind of talked about that too, that those refunds actually do hit you independently. Mm-hmm. Talon Seer says, Doug, one of the fruits of the Holy Spirit is self-control, and while everything is permitted, not all things are beneficial. I hope you're controlling your alcohol and not the other way around. Fake Name says, Boyette and Ashworth on Kiwi Farms doing gay ops. E says, Doug, I care about beliefs, but I don't care. Facepalm. Plum Logan says, here's the thing, EVS, I'm all the way in on CG. I don't care about Doug's beliefs. I just care if he gives a great story. That isn't jam-packed with them. That's what the fans are focused on, not Twitter. Jay Cephas says, Doug, accept that EVS did not direct war campaign at you. I think he might be getting there. It's hard to ever gauge in the heat of a conversation where someone ends up later. Criminal Imagination says, on the flip side, I can't stand the term LGBT. I'm 100% convinced it's not a community and that it's very divided. Unbeknownst by 12 says, talk about the actual art process. Yeah, that's a good thing.
That's what this was supposed to be, I think.
But
the title was Comicsgate Drama, YouTube, and Making Comics got added at the end. So
we talked a little bit about the road to come, because I genuinely I'm baffled. I'm baffled. Mm-hmm. The independence of running a YouTube channel for me and what you guys do, and me, like I have some long-term plan to grift people openly to try and deliver them some other product than just a YouTube channel that they might want to buy. Certainly that's on my radar. I don't know what to do yet. I've got some ideas, but either way, like I don't know where this goes. I don't know how long it lasts. It's new, right? I think you and I probably, I know I started doing live streams with super chats just right after YouTube even implemented them. Like it's a new thing still for all of us. And this crowdfunding stuff is crazy. It changed the whole ballpark.
Yeah, it really does allow people to do whatever they want to do without having to ask permission. But I still think that when it comes to Comicsgate, I really do think we have the right idea. I don't think I don't think we should be just the opposite side of the coin to what's going on in Marvel.
I agree with you. I think that that's 100% true. And if other people don't want to be involved in that, that's their decision. But I think that what Comicsgate has done is frankly amazing. And anybody who's bought Comicsgate books, regardless of even what they think of the book, if they don't look at drama, the ability to support someone God,
Look
that
how
looks
pretty
good.
this is. Look how pretty this is.
That's ridiculous.
Isn't that great? Look at this. I mean, how could you not? This is, this is, a brand. This is like a sample cover. They're going to glue these together, Nick.
Yeah.
This is the proof copy. Inside, this is all the interiors of the book. And I swear to God, this is the best thing that I've ever done in my life. And I don't want to go back to ever having to compromise my work ever again. And I don't know how long it takes to make a Cyberfrog comic. I guess it takes months. But that's something that crowdfunding allows. Crowdfunding allows people like you and me and Doug Tenaple and whoever else to just aspire to be better, to produce a better product. And there's nothing you will never see. You'll never see a product like this in a comic book store again. I mean, look, here's the Cyberfrog cover. This is beautiful. This is well worth the time to bring this back.
Yeah.
And that's why I love this. I love Comicsgate. I love crowdfunding. The sequel is going to be even more beautiful, hopefully more timely. I've got, Andrea, my wife, is kind of kicking my ass a little bit. But what a privilege. What an amazing privilege. I don't have to spend the rest of my career just busting monthly deadlines and producing work that I'm embarrassed of. I can actually do work that lasts and that people want to buy. It's exciting.
Hey, do you still do conventions?
No, I don't want to be shot.
What if the convention was hosted in Minnesota by some random lawyer?
I'd come out, sure.
Because I'm thinking about next year. I'm toying around the idea next year, trying to find a venue and bringing people here who are otherwise hard to access for various reasons. Maybe because they're not necessarily invited to some of the other conventions. I think we could get a good show put together with the right people. But
yeah, I guess we need security. I mean, we live in a world right now where it's just not safe to be, to be out in public. This
would be very secure.
Okay.
It wouldn't if I'm going to put this on with the people that I would think to bring there, it would be very secure. That would be a big part of it. But
good. I would go.
Good. Well, I'll hold you to it.
Okay.
No, I'm thinking about putting together a show. I'm hoping to get, guys who have been maybe not allowed to go to certain conventions and stuff like that because they don't have the right imprint or whatever for comics, or they don't have the right politics for other industries. I think that'd be fun. And we could have a lot of people who just want to be there. So,
yep.
Okay. The one says the rainbow is a symbol of God's mercy upon the earth, but SJW's corrupted it. It pisses me off to see what it has become now. I get you, Doug. Crackbot says, good to see you back, Nick. I thought you were Clinton-sided from talking about Epstein. No, man, I just needed some rest yesterday. Unhinged Crank says, oh, wait, we read that one. John Albert says, hey, Nick. Just got home from work and stopped some guy stealing $2,488.56 worth of tools, gloves, and fire alarms. Dude hid it inside a cabinet. Oh, good job. NACL3PO says, why are we back to policing speech and behavior? Have you learned nothing from Gamergate? Felipe,
I don't want to, by the way, Nick. I know you were giving me hell about that. I've got people going, you got to tell your fans, you got to straighten out your fans. And every instinct in me says that's not the thing to do. And I don't want to do it. I feel like I got snookered into it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I think, well, it happens. I'm not saying that, people tell you a whole bunch of stuff. I know how it goes, right? People, did you see this? And they give you a tweet or they give you a screen cap of some post somewhere and you're like, what the hell is this? I can't deal with this. I can't support this. And is this gonna, and you've got the double issue of having to, you've also got your personal brand plus the Comicsgate brand is for better or worse, you're part of it. And so you're trying to manage both those things. So I don't fault you for it. I just would, I just always caution against it from people because
I'm going to be careful. I don't want to get tricked. I mean, in general, people need to be able to say and do what they want. And all I can really do is just say, behave yourselves. Don't harass other people. Don't do anything like that. Just try to behave yourselves. Be good. And that's it. That's all I can do.
Yeah, that's about as far as I go. Please don't harass people. But other than that, like I can never take ownership of other people's actions because you can't. It's the internet. If you tell people not to do something, sometimes they do the opposite just to spite you. So that was just my. I hope you, of course, realize that all of that advice was given as completely friendly.
Hey, I appreciate it. I need some guidance. Sometimes I feel like I'm alone in the woods. It's like somebody point me at the proper direction. I can appreciate it, So yeah.
Well, like anybody in the world, if you ever want me to bore you with my opinion, just ask.
I'll say that you're gonna get hit up. Yeah.
Felipe M says Earthworm Jim is anti-gay. Doug, you are anti-gay. Your character is anti-gay. That is a fact. E says, Doug, everyone doesn't agree with me. They are stupid. He's quoting Doug there. Rumble Terrier says, War Campaign tagged Interplay in a tweet calling Doug anti-gay. I'd also like to ask EVS to clarify why he'd suggest I turn myself into the FBI for false accusations started by War Campaign. I heard something about that, but I don't know what it was. Do you have any idea?
Yeah, we're horsing around on the internet, and this guy goes, hey, what kind of man investigates another man for allegations of child pornography? And I said, the FBI. It was a punchline. It was a joke.
Sure. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I had no idea. I've just seen like you, right? I see rumblings and things are brought, and it's like
people have to stop. I mean, there's a certain type of person. I don't want to describe exactly what kind of ailment a person like this would suffer from, who takes things literally all the time and doesn't recognize a joke, doesn't recognize humor, doesn't recognize hyperbole, and then just bores you with it forever. But you find those people on Twitter.
Yeah, absolutely. You find them all over Twitter. Man, they seem to be. Whew. E says, "Wow, Doug saying CG endorses doxing as a group. That's part of the same thing. It's part of the same thing that's going on."
We do not support doxing. We condemn doxing. It's ridiculous. I don't know anybody. I personally condemn doxing. I think it's a low life thing to do. You're asking for people to get hurt. So,
there you know. Jay Cephas says, Doug, I'm Christian. I'm pro EVS, and I feel like you are attacking me. WTF. I won't cancel my purchase of Earthworm Jim, but WTF is wrong with your freaking brain. Rhino says, Mr. Rogers said, 2 men working out their emotions can be more dramatic than wondering if the hero can defeat the bad guy and save the day. He's right. Bald Eagle 1787 says, I don't think that both Doug and Ethan have done the job of anti-Comicsgate for them. This squabble has/is driving away potential creators, therefore they're gatekeeping just like the SJW creators. Pixlexia says, Doug, love the sinner, hate the sin. CG is about the consumers/fans and product, not Christianity. I can't support Earthworm Jim because of grandstanding and attacks. Anthony Scott says, quit washing Doug's balls, Nick. But they're dirty. What am I supposed to do? Grundleby says, F you, Ethan. Doug is 6'8". You already lost. Chicken Sith says, Doug didn't call my faith stupid and decisive. Sick. Ethan and War Campaign deserve each other. Just send me the book I bought. Amenthi says, check your Twitter mentions. I sent you a making of video about the monster costumes in the Scary Stories movie. They look just like the illustrations. Awesome. I'm definitely going to check that out. Ichisinko says, is this the first time you've been a mediator, Nick? No.
All the time.
I do it often. There are different media. Someday I should do a very boring show about different mediation styles and why you would use them. Midnight Images says, maybe he just didn't and still doesn't get what CG wants from creators, which is okay, but then please don't attack us. Ook Google 2 says EVS loses CG partners because he says CG has no leaders. Then when other CG people express different goals, he gets upset. CG is defined by EVS in one way and he does not understand others differ. Torga DW says getting off of social media is a good idea, in my opinion. You got to balance that with the duty to market your product.
Yeah, I disagree.
I hate Twitter. in principle, but Twitter drives lots of traffic to this show. I don't know what else to do about that. Torga DW. Oh wait, no. Get Down Demon says Dirty Doug and the Legion of Doom telling schemes and scams. I remember the 106 you grifted tapeworm. #blame war campaign. Ichisinko says EVS is better off without Dirt Snake Doug. Cecil was right. Roden says just sell the hot dogs and shut up. Gummy says grew up with Earthworm Jim in the 90s. I'm not up to speed on this, but it seems like you're trying to separate the art from the artist. I respect that. Ramon Franco says, why doesn't EVS give the harm the Earthworm Jim tweet can get the harm the Earthworm Jim tweet can cause? If anyone working on Mickey Mouse heard it with Mickey loves to blow Goofy, Disney would drop the hammer. Krista Joe says, creators can't be expected. Oh, where'd it go? Hate everything about this window not updating. Oh my God. Creators can't be expected to constantly control fans that support them for various reasons. Remember, there will always be weirdos that thrive on drama. Get Down Demon says, Doug loves a dong in his mouth. Change my mind. I don't know how to change your mind. Gummy says, is it possible to ever get the book? Are they talking to you?
Yeah, I think so. I think they're saying Blood Honey's late.
Oh, okay. Blood Honey is late, but you've just shown the proof.
It's coming.
Proof copy. So this is the thing, right? It's new. All of this stuff
I've never done this before. I honestly, I didn't know how long this would take, and I kick myself for putting that in November. I was going to get this thing done between May and November of 2018. It's absolutely ridiculous. It just takes longer than that to do the kind of work that I was doing, and it takes longer than that to actually produce a comic book that looks like this. So I learned a lesson. I'm sorry to everyone who waited and feels let down by the wait. I absolutely learned a lesson, and the end result is that the book is beautiful. It really is beautiful, and I'll get the dates right next time. I'll have a better estimated shipping date.
There you go. That's part of this, guys. Who don't independent creators don't have that underlying infrastructure and have to learn this stuff as they go. Asia Fraser says had to go clock in when Doug came on. So did y'all make up? Well, I don't know. Get Down Demon says trash pandas and pigeons always doing gay ops. That umbrella guy says boulder to the face. That was from the Monday Matt comment, I think. Timothy Reaper says we're talking too much about feelings. Somebody needs to punch a midget or something. Unhinged Crank says show EVS a picture of Lady Rackets. I don't have pictures of her at my desk. I just go look at her. Let's see. Mythos Irving, I missed this one earlier, says Sargon sadly got high off of his own farts. He destroyed UKIP. Lol now has shakes and fish thrown at him. Jim warned
I saw those videos. They were great. I don't understand. I really don't. I mean, when I first got on YouTube, I was like, I like this Sargon guy. He's very mysterious. Sargon of Akkad is very mysterious. I like his, making fun of feminists and everything. And I've never seen anything like that before. Him going, first of all, Richard Spencer destroyed him. You got to be careful. Richard Spencer destroyed him. Just a few words.
It's terrifying when you think that because someone holds views that you find detestable, that you think that they might not be as smart as you.
That is a big ass mistake. Yeah, I mean, absolutely, and Richard Spencer just saying you're not as smart as you think you are, and Sargon just the bad performance. I think that really ruined him. The political thing was, you know what it reminded me of? Like Ricky Gervais really needs to make the Sargon of Akkad story. Ricky Gervais as kind of Brent from The Office, as Sargon of Akkad. Only he, like that whole thing with him, like running a political campaign, getting hit with fish, destroying the entire political party he belonged to. That's a Ricky Gervais TV show waiting to happen.
Yeah, I think
somebody's got to clue him in.
I think Ricky would play a good Sargon too.
Yeah.
The milk, I don't ever condone any use of violence, and I do believe that throwing milkshakes on people is violent. It's not harmfully violent, but it is it's violence.
It's an outrage. I would go out of my mind. Even back a few years back when they were like dumping glitter on you. It's like to me, I'd be like, ow, this glitter hurts. Forget it. That's assault. Anyway, I don't want glitter poured on me. I don't want a milkshake thrown at me, you bitches.
When glitter gets on my couch, I burn the couch and buy a new one. I hate glitter. I hate it. But no, it's but it's such a weirdly, I don't know if it's a British thing, but I've only ever seen it with the British thing. Like they had to shut down Dairy Queens in the areas of these political discussions because people were buying so many milkshakes.
To throw it, and it's so weird that milkshakes are so associated with Comicsgate too. It all seems like a weird, like we're missing something. The milkshake girls.
Yeah, that's what started it all.
Yeah, look, I don't get it. It's interesting.
Well, my milkshake brings all the boys to the yard, so that's what I got. Let's see.
Hashtag rainbow.
Yeah, there you go. Liam Gray, Anime Hitman, says Xenotype is an exciting blend of Western long-form storytelling with world-class manga shonen. For regular updates, follow at RetroBoy1983 on Twitter. Infanity says, just tuned into the stream. I'm drunk and don't know what you're talking about, but I love you, Nick, and you are sexy, bruh. Hey, thanks, buddy. Darian the Ghoul says, to answer earlier, when I see the pride symbol, it upsets me and makes it harder for me to want to wear it because of what SJWs and the far left have done to it. It was my crutch for so long due to my family's beliefs.
We have so many, we have gays in Comicsgate. I mean, that's why it's difficult. I talk to them, they send me messages. I mean, they're like, look, I'm LGBTQ of some sort and a big supporter of yours. I can't stand these SJWs. So to me, it's like you really do have to define, not what somebody is or how they look. You have to define them by their behavior. Social justice warriors, and many of them are gay. There are many LGBTQ people who are social justice warriors, and fuck them. Et cetera, et cetera. I have a problem with social justice warriors. I can't have a problem with anyone who wants to support my comic book. No SJWs do, believe it.
Guys, I know that there were the cement milkshakes thrown at Andy Go. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. Andy in Portland. That's I think a regular milkshake is violent. I definitely think a cement milkshake is more violent than a regular milkshake. But I mean, the first time I ever saw the milkshake tossing craze was with Sargon and various people from UKIP, and I found it very weird. It was interesting to me. It for some reason it seemed very British, and I don't know why. Nothing about milkshakes is particularly British. Okay, next. Sketch Therapy. Hey, what's up, Sketch? Says, please back Cyberfrog, Bloodhoney, Littlest Umbrella, Vestige, Graveyard Shift 2, Starblades, and Vampirella Sciver covers. Hail Caesar, Hail War campaign. Ramsey Music says, okay, now you have to do the J-Dolph Russian voice, my favorite of all your characters. Oh, God. I don't want to... maybe I get... Have you heard this? The lawyer for Monica Rial and Ron Toye is a guy named... Jay Sean Lemoyne, and
No.
his nickname is J-Dolph because so Vic Mignogna's nickname, I guess, amongst the Risen Bull Rangers was the Fuhrer, and that's not because of Hitler, but because the character in Full Metal Alchemist was called the Fuhrer, and so Jay Sean Lemoyne is asking him in deposition about it, and he's like, "Did they call you the Fuhrer? Why? Do you think of anybody they'd call the Fuhrer other than Hitler? Are you Hitler?" It's like, oh my God. So
I heard that. I was tuned in and I listened to that guy. I was stunned by his voice. I would not be able to stop laughing if you were questioning me like that. So hilarious.
I almost felt bad making fun of him because he's like that because he got West Nile. He actually got West Nile and lost a lot of lung capacity. But he's such a dick that I don't care. So someone had me do his voice with a Russian accent. Like,
Ron Toy was a revelation too, by the way. Ron Toy was something else, man. I couldn't stop watching that dude.
yeah, how
What
did
a
you
piece
feel?
of shit. Like,
Yeah.
one of the what a piece of human refuse he is. You know?
It's amazing. It's amazing. Oh, now that he's been mentioned, hopefully he'll pay someone to transcribe this entire stream.
Yes.
Because that's apparently what he's been doing. But
God.
that guy, he came off so unlikable in that. And I don't know what his plan was, but that deposition did not look good on him at all, in my opinion. Wait, so the Big Fee says, EVS, would you consider deleting the Earthworm Jim tweet, or is that a non-starter? I could see that as a good olive branch. I disagree, but I don't know what your thoughts are.
I don't know how you delete something like that that's been copied and passed around so many times. It's like I don't know how you delete it and make a difference. If I could delete the whole thing, would I? I mean, I guess. I don't know.
You said you wouldn't do it again, but you can't undo the past. I don't think deleting it makes any. My opinion on social media is that once something is out there, it's out there, and deleting it isn't going to change what happens. But and deleting it seems like dwelling on it to me. But I don't know.
I pay more attention to it. You know, it's why did Ethan delete this, and then it's a whole other round of bullshit.
Right. And Doug never asked, and I don't think he should either. I think, words happen in moments, and that's fine. That's why I try not to delete anything. I occasionally do if it's something that needs to wait to be said, but I try and end up saying it anyway. Sketch Therapy says, support God King by your boy Zach and Zach's legal fund. Thanks. I agree. Do that. Boy Do Wen says, I don't have a Twitter account. Okay. That's in response to what you said earlier, but I don't remember what it was. I'm sorry. King Achura says, Ethan, I thought what you were saying was very clear. Jay Sifa says, F you, Doug, you piece of poop. I will never effing buy another thing you produce. CG is not what you have characterized it as. Worthless piece of poop. I'm censoring that. No One Important says, gonna insert some love here and say all three of you are awesome guys. You have my support in your goals. Thank you. Yoko Karama 62, thanks for the donation. Trevor Wright says, EVS, it's not your job to look after Mike. He's a big boy. If you're not the leader of Comicsgate, then why take the responsibility of policing it?
Because Mike isn't Comicsgate. Mike's my friend.
Yeah, and I think that's a different thing entirely. You can give advice to someone without policing them, but yeah, anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to step on you there.
It's okay.
Sakaki Onsai says, I'm buying from Doug, buying from EVS. War Campaign can suck on Renfamous's whale mams. King Achura says, question, does anybody want to buy my 2 Bigfoot Bill books? It would be a waste of money for me to use it as toilet paper. That seems like a bad decision, in my opinion. But Yoko Karama 62 says, second super chat ever. I don't have a Twitter account. I also want a shirt. Oh, that's about the beard shirts. I'll see what I can do about getting a link to that. Next time I have Ty on, I'll put the link up, which should be maybe tomorrow. Today? Yeah, it's becoming Thursday, so later today. Kyle Jordan Gaming says, EVS, thank you so much for retweeting my bro's GoFundMe for his baby the other day. We made $200 since then. Still a ways to go, but progress. You helped a lot.
Bless you.
Freighter J says, that's 5 inches. Something neither T. Greg's or Shane's wives have never said. Time Code Mechanic says, EVS has been extremely helpful to non-SJW creators. I agree. Inspiringly so. Dweeb Screed says, EVS tweeted once that he was doing some legal action to, it seemed, retaliate back at Twitter trolls. Whatever happened to that? P.S. Nick, hello from Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Hey, buddy.
It's an ongoing thing, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything will come of it, but, you know, I've hired someone and we're looking into it.
Yeah, that's how legal things kind of go until they actually happen. The Big Fee says, EVS wanted that extra 5 inches of hot beef. 17 inches is not enough. Lol, JK, love y'all, homo. Martyr Media says, hey, yo, Nick, like, Idris Elba isn't African American, right? He's English, he ain't American. So why do they call him, do they call him African English across the pond? Told my dad I'd consult a lawyer about it. Hashtag booty hole walrus. It's a weird hashtag. No, they don't. They don't say African English or African Swedish, to my knowledge. I don't
They
think
say
that's
black, right? I mean,
I think so. And I don't know. The terminology changes, and I think that terminology change is a weapon. I don't really care for it, but Malarkey says taxation is not theft, it's extortion. Dustin Fritz Farr says fighting on the internet is like the Special Olympics. Even though you win, you are still retarded. Wow. Not everybody in the Special Olympics has a particular disability. I think you're being too general there, Dustin. How dare you? The Big Fee says, I hope Nick tries to sing this. No. Shout, let it all out. These are the things I can do without. No, I don't want to sing that. The Joe Blow Show says, Doug to Naples is what happens when Donny Osmond has a baby with an ostrich and then pukes on it. Wow.
that's not nice.
Mythos Irving says, I think you missed my last 20 super chat, Boomer. No, I got to it by now. Rhino says, Doug admitted he was mobilizing people against EVS. He actually didn't admit that, but I know how people listen to things. So, Bad Dragonite says, is teacher friend Drexel? He teach all the cucks? No. Mr. DJ Fly High says, thoughts on Greg's article on Vic? Greg is stupid. That's my thoughts on whatever Greg produces. Henry Aller says, any tips on how to write better? Love the stream. Write more. If you want to write better, write more and have more people read it and tell you how it's terrible. Blaine 20. Oh, actually, I can give you a real tip. That's a throwaway tip. Sorry, that was rude of me. A real tip on writing better is to read everything you write out loud. And if it doesn't sound like something you'd say or something that you'd actually hear someone say, if it sounds unnatural, then it is unnatural. Or have someone else read it to you. Blaine 20 says, the corrupting things men were doing long ago were taught by rebellious ones then as it is also now. Reagan Lodge says, I like both Doug and EVS. This is all very depressing. John Albert says, thanks for finishing reading my super chat. Sorry to have kept bugging you on it. You didn't keep bugging me on it, buddy. And if I missed something, please let me know. The Game Idea Guy says, unrelated, but Nick, I want to do a show with you to grift subs and share my ideas in gaming. If you would be so interested, kind sir, also good show. It's not that I'm not interested. I've got a lot of people who've asked me to be on streams, and I don't always have time. And I try to as much as possible. So email me, and I will try to get back to you. Henry Aller says, Mike the Cop confirmed. Check Twitter DMs. Oh, that'd be interesting. Ampathos guy says, EVS and you are you just illustrator or are you a writer also?
I'm writing Cyberfrog. I'll be writing everything. I feel like the people who are giving me money are investing in me, and so I'm not going to hire a writer. It's just going to be me.
There you go. Let's see. Blaine 20 says, I do armed security. Hold it here and my employer can do it. We have at least 2 convention spaces here that we know the owners of. I don't know where here is, but I'll talk to you later. Architect of Fate says, anyone else willing to back transplanting 7.5 million Californian communists with the American-loving Hong Kong nationals? Hashtag transplant Hong Kong. Have you seen, I just heard about the Hong Kong stuff. Like, it's like 1776 Hong Kong. Like, what's happening? It's crazy.
It's lunacy. Somebody just said I have a face like a flower, cauliflower, and I'm just like, God, that's awesome, man. It's awesome.
The chat is great.
I love these people. They're hilarious.
Let's see. Dustin Fritz Farr says, if the comic thing doesn't work out, you could always draw furry porn. I hear it's very lucrative. Would you draw furry porn?
No, I think it's gross. I don't like it. Yeah, I don't get it.
Bonitis draws furry porn, but he insists on having human genitalia.
That's what you do, right? Wouldn't you make them have human genitals? I don't know. He draws animals having sex, but he only draws human genitalia on it. That's like his principled stand. He doesn't do the animal genitalia. I honestly don't get the furry thing. I don't understand it. I don't get it. What makes you like that?
Let's see. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. I love Bonitis. He's great, but I don't understand it. Dweebs Creed says just a $3 chat to bump my previous one to $20. Oh,
Nice.
Thanks. Automata says I'm off to France. Kyle Weaver says I'd happily risk my life to protect Ethan at your convention from soy Minnesotans like Linkara. Well, protecting from soy Minnesotans probably wouldn't be much of a risk. I'm just saying. Philip Stahl says can't take a hat offer from another man, then you can go yourself. Khan Rathov says I just wish you two ladies would just get along. Some of us would like the online market to thrive, and a fractured house does not a good domicile make, ya mokes. Solo Beverly says if you end up seeing glitter, it's already too late. At that point, it's in places you didn't know you have. Gummy says I want an objection to form mug, please. Oh, that's a good mug. Trom2CH2 says the milkshake was due to Tommy Robinson. Talked to a guy and he threw the milkshake onto Tommy. Nothing happened to the guy, so other people saw this and decided they could do the same. Man, don't throw a milkshake on someone in Texas. You'll get killed. Professor Geek says, great stream, Nick. Solidarity, Uncle E. I'm Comicsgate to the bone. Back my book, Tales from the Stacks, with art by Kung Lee, illustrator Monk, and more, with a variant cover by Malin and Kyle Ritter. So there you go. Go check out Tales from the Stacks, guys. King Achuris says, Ethan, I don't mind waiting for what will be the best looking comic ever, and I know I'm not alone. By the way, emailed you about my damaged poster, but no rush. I know you're busy. Blaine20 says, when giants fight, the villagers get trampled. Big Red Bear says, hey, EVS, I just want to say through this chat tonight, I've come to respect you more than I did prior. Just a dude on the internet, but hats off to you.
I'm not taking a hat off, but
I was going to say, I thought the hat was coming off. I was like, oh, it's going to happen. Lanny109, thank you. Big Fee says, does EVS know about the snack tray inside joke?
No, what's that?
Okay, so my buddy Drexel lives in a different world than normal people. Well, that was probably offensive. He lives in a different world than the nuclear family, we'll say. How's that? So Drexel was on the stream the other day talking about when he used to go to swing orgies. And he informed me that if there are any guys kind of eyeing him, he's out immediately. He's like, nope, not with it. But the interesting thing was what he talked about was that these guys would not like try to do something to him necessarily, but they would just sit and watch other guys with women, right? And they would literally bring snack trays around and like water and stuff, I guess, to keep the energy up. So that's what's going on. So if you see any memes about snack trays, it's a cuck joke. I mean, that's the long and short of it. Blaine20 says the UK gave some Chinamen a taste of freedom and rights and then left them high and dry. Dude, Asian Americans, please. Alex Britton says, never invite Ron Soye or J-Dolph to cons. I've heard that Ron runs around throwing cold soy lattes at people while wearing his wife beater, and J-Dolph creeps around looking for all the con sluts. Boy Du Nguyen says, never read the Bible, but I hear Bible Black is good. Bible Black, I hear, is a wholesome family show. Jason Stevens says, things in Hong Kong are getting crazy. We need some Captain America to stand up to the CCP. Also, Ethan, ask your boy Zach on how to do international sales. I was able to order God King to Hong Kong. We need Blood Honey too.
Yeah, don't worry. People are showing me Cyberfrog Vampirella in Japan right now, so it's getting there safely. And you'll get your Blood Honey safely as well.
Solo Beverly says, any advice either of you have for getting an organized start on a story? No, I'm bad at it.
On a story, I would say write all your beats down on Post-it notes, all your story beats,
and then shuffle them randomly.
No.
That's how you get Pulp Fiction.
Yes, but just add to it. I mean, look at the spaces in between, and work it out that way, I'd say.
Yeah, sometimes that does help people. Put it in a chronological order, tape it around a wall or whatever, and then you can add inserts of other cards and stuff like that. Sometimes you need to visualize it. I'm not great at organizing a story, but because I never sit down long enough to do it. Austin Heartless says Ethan and Doug should exchange snack trays. Oh no. And Matt Nessheim says, Nick, how many computer monitors are you using? Three computer monitors, and one of them is an ultra wide, so that's exciting. Or double wide, not an ultra wide. This is just one trailer. Deep Fried Lettuce says, pro tip for those of you with daughters, make them watch anime and they will never have sex. Mercenary X says, stop it, stop fighting, please, for the love of God, please stop the infighting. I am Christian, but Doug and Ethan, we need to understand this is a long game, this is a long battle ahead, and this fighting is not helping, and the SJW will win. God, please help. Cormoran says, I like both Ethan and Doug. I just want good comics, and you guys make good comics. Please remember that Comicsgate was a consumer movement first. I feel it's been taken over by creators, and us customers are losing our voices we did in the mainstream. Redacted says, these guys are both paranoid and gay. That's all I'm taking from this. I can't understand them over the cock stuck in their mouths. Wow, it's just one. I guess you're sharing. I don't know. Hoomstiv says, Doug is the liar here. His main gripe is that EVS is attacking Earthworm Jim by asking if it's anti-gay, so he understands how attacking LGBT is bad for business. Then he claims he doesn't understand why CG is upset about his gay bashing. Hoomstiv, yeah, we went through all that.
Yeah.
Ken Wolf 11. Now, to be fair, this is 2 hours ago, but we're almost done. These are just the Justice chats. Ken Wolf says, hope Doug and Ethan can make up and leave all this behind. Hate infighting drama in this awesome community. It's going to happen, though. It's going to happen. There will be infighting, and then there will be peace, and then there will be not peace. That's the way of the world. Anime Moon says, we reached our goal to help my wife with her teeth. Thank you formally to those who donated. You have our eternal gratitude. On another thing, wouldn't it be funny if those attacking both sides are secret SJW orbiters wanting to sabotage CG and Doug? Ken Wolf 11 says, will there be Twitch tonight? I demand you flash puss. Yes. I, against my better judgment, will do some Twitch tonight. I'm a Twitch thought, Ethan. Have you considered doing Twitch?
No, I don't know what it is.
It's a live streaming platform. I only do it because I don't feel like I should play video games on this channel, because I don't want to muddy the waters of what this show is. So I do all my video game playing on Twitch, and people can come watch lots of times after this show. But I tend to switch into a tank top. You show a little skin, things get a little bit better. And lately I've been eating this stuff. You'll be able to see this. I've been eating this stuff every time I die.
What is it? I can't see it. Move it closer the other way.
Oh, wait. Sorry, I'm wrong camera.
Reaper puree.
This is pureed Carolina Reaper peppers.
Yikes.
I'm training. At 75,000 subscribers, I'm going to eat a Reaper pepper. So I'm training by having bites of this. It's horrifying on my stomach. I don't recommend this to anybody. Don't do it. AE Ivan says, hey man, congrats on your wife's GoFundMe. I wish her a speedy recovery. That's to the other guy. Hey Nick, think you could plug my girlfriend's GoFundMe too? Well, okay, I was gonna make the joke about plugging a girlfriend for someone, but it's a GoFundMe, so I won't. It's www.gofundme.com/help give her a smile. She's rather shy about her smile, but I'll upload x-rays when I get them. So you guys can check that out. Night of Hopex says, good talk, guys. I think this is some petty stuff, don't get me wrong. And I'm more on Doug's team than Ethan's, but I respect you guys having it out and relieving some of this tension. Tomorrow, please both forget this and never bring it up again, please. Ken Wolf says, free $2. Love these masks. You should promote them more. The masks are weird. They're a double-edged sword. Wanger says, don't call Ethan names. That isn't cool, man. I don't know if that was in response to Doug, and I did try to stop that. I don't think that was productive. Night of Hopex says, EVS, this is a quote for you, I think. I think it kind of bears mentioning that you did kind of set this whole CG thing up for failure by making yourself the grand poobah and trying to tell people what they can and can't espouse in public. Trying to do that was always a bad idea to begin with. Far be it from me to disagree with the chat ever, but I think that's a mischaracterization of what happened. I think other people set Ethan up as the grand poobah. I really do.
I try to. I'd say I'm not all the time, and I try to participate and help other people. I don't want to be the leader of anything at all. The most people, I guess, come to my live streams, and that's why there's that perception. But that's all I want.
Snack Sheet says, Ethan, Doug, we shall all be healed. I hope one day you can both shake hands and say you are my brother and I love you.
I say that now. I have nobody. I want to make that clear. I would say that now. There are some people who, who have left Comicsgate for various reasons that I haven't looked after them again. It's fine. Go your own way. Do your own thing. Doug's different. I actually really cared about Doug. I'm sorry for all of this. I think it's a terrible shame and a waste of both of our time and energy to be fighting over this.
Yeah, I agree. but it happened, and there's nothing now that can undo it. So now it's healing and moving on. 95X says, I'll also say, Nick, your chat is depressing as hell to me. Seeing these people tear each other apart when we're supposed to be the good guys is downright disgusting. If this is the best we can do, we're doomed as a species that deserves whatever we get. Yeah, well, the chat will do what the chat does, always. Cormoran says... Oh, sorry.
I think they're pretty funny. I'm laughing my head off.
Cormoran says, I noticed you never donated to SeaWorld. Hashtag save the blue-haired orcas. Asphyxiation says, Nick, BoomerCon will end up like this. Jim will come dressed as Mr. Medicare and trick everyone into thinking he's just cosplaying. He's going to break into your hotel room and replace your whiskey with Kharkov vodka. Enjoy the paint thinner. That's rude. That's disgusting. Okay, let's see. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 more, and then we're all done. Ultraviolent says, some people have Stan or Jim Lee. EVS is my all-time #1.
Oh, thanks.
Dustin Fritz Farr says, EVS supports ultraviolence. No, sorry. Dustin Fritz Farr says, I won't apologize for my jokes. I grew up in the Wild West of the internet when nothing was off limits. So long for those days once again. Me too, man. I would love to make all of the jokes and have never have anyone take them maliciously, unless I obviously am intending it maliciously. I hate that we live in an age of self-censorship. Architect of Fate says, when is the Arch Warhammer stream? Ask about Kyle. I'm going to try and get on a Border Prince's show briefly on Saturday. By the way, guys, Border Prince is on my Warhammer stream with me and Jim. Go check him out. He just hit 5,000 subscribers. Go support him. He's going to have Arch Warhammer and Chapter Master Volric. They'll both be on. Great guys. Great. It should be a great show. That's Saturday, 2 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to try and pop in, but it'll be during Road Rage, so we'll see. Malarkey says, Ethan, will Blood Honey be available to buy after the Kickstarter? Also, if not, would you considering doing a dual pack with the next book?
I'm considering all things. I'm going to close it out next week. Next Friday, I'm going to close out the Fist Bump team up cover. So if you haven't got one, make sure to get one by next Friday. After that, we'll see. Yeah, after we fulfilled all of the Cyberfrog Blood Honey campaign, backers, they're going to be extras. I'm going to find a way to sell those, and we'll see what happens from there. I'm in it to make as much money as I can. Obviously, I have a family.
Absolutely. And I support people making money, especially when they're doing it by giving people something that they want to spend it on. Mm-hmm. Kita says, the milkshakes against Sargon et al. Were Antifa normalizing it. They added cement to it later after they got people to think it was just a joke. Yeah, and again, to be clear, I don't think that a milkshake was ever a joke. I found it very curious. And it kind of looks funny when someone is covered in milkshake, but no, I do see it as an actual battery, a literal crime. So The Big Fee says, I'm surprised that no one made fun of EVS for eating at Pixie Sticks on stream. Oh, because Pixie Sticks are delicious.
Well, I just got a crate of them, and so I brought 2 down. I wanted to eat them. They were good.
P.S. EVS's wiki page still says he lives in Orlando and is a Mormon. So there you go. Kyle Jordan Gaming.
Jersey.
Kyle Jordan Gaming says, Nick, could you be as kind as Uncle Ethan and share my bro's GoFundMe to save his baby? Probably not on this stream. Why don't we do it on like a different stream? Send it to me in an email or something. Nova Zero says, before milk, because I believe in saving babies. Nova Zero says, before milkshakes, there was water being thrown, except it was acid. At the time, it didn't count as an assault in the UK. And wow, the internet says shake it off, Ethan, and go save some frogs. So there we go, man.
I thoroughly enjoyed that. I really did. I watched your show. Everybody watches your show. I didn't want to leave. I wanted to sit through the super chats.
Well, thank you.
I think you are an extraordinary human being. I really appreciate your mediating this, because it wasn't easy. I wasn't sure I wanted Doug to come in here, but it didn't feel good to talk about this without him in here. It just didn't feel good in my heart. So I'm glad that he did.
I'm glad you were willing. That's a huge thing. It's a huge thing. I love the heck out of both of you guys and wish you all the best. And I certainly, if there's ever anything I can do, it's my pleasure to help out. So, well, thanks, man. And, anytime, if you ever want me on the stream or whatever, let me know. And
that'll be great.
Happy to jump in. And I don't know. I don't even know what to do. Make fun of someone?
It would have to be a legal issue that we come in and get your advice over. There was a really funny one before that I wanted to get you on, but we'll do it again. And let me tell you, I'm open to that Minnesota convention. And if you want some help, all you have to do is talk about that a little bit more, and people will make that happen. I think
so. And I'm just trying to get the people in place to start mobilizing it. And finding a venue that won't back down when they get bombarded, because they will.
Yeah.
That'll be the determining factor, is finding someone who will just say "shut up" to every email that comes in.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, there are a few people like that right now. I'm working with Dynamite Comics on these Vampirella covers, and they're getting bombed with the SJW complaints. And their attitude is just, we're ignoring you. We're here to make money. You don't have to pay our employees. You don't pay our bills. Shut your mouth. We're going to do these Vampirella covers with Ethan. So that's great. That's what we need.
Yeah. There's one last one. From JCF Data. EVS and Doug, CG or not, and personal beliefs aside that everyone is entitled to, I can't agree more on customer service, and the books are the important part, and I support you both. And that's something that has always been a big part for me of the draw of Comicsgate, is that from the get-go, you were always very clear. This is about not hating our customers. And oh my God, what better business principle is there than not hating the people who pay you?
It shouldn't be hard. I mean, anybody who wants to read Cyberfrog, I love them. And I put any other politics, personal feelings, any of that aside. I feel like I spent a lot of my early career fucking that up, being very political. And it wasn't until I saw your boy Zach and his attitude, his ideas about diversity in comics that I feel like I changed my ways. So I am, forever grateful to anyone who backs Cyberfrog. I'll return it. This comic book it's as close as I've ever come to creating a perfect comic book. And, I'm proud to release it to you. It's going to be released in a perfect form, exactly how I'd envisioned it. And I think you're going to be happy, even though you'll still be mad at me about the weight. But I will narrow that weight down. And thank you to everyone.
All right, man. Well, thanks for hanging out. I'm going to close out the stream, but don't leave just yet. I'd like to say goodbye privately. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Y'all have a good night. I can't play the outro song with a guest on. You just have to deal with it tonight. I'm sorry. Peace. Grunu says, for the 75K pepper stream, can Drexel bring you the pepper on a snack tray? I'll ask him. All right, guys. Peace.